Hello and welcome to the 29th Swim or Sink, the last meow. I am Echo and I am joined by the amazing Bash. How's your day going?
Good, and yours?
Mine's going pretty well. And it seems like we're already getting into our first match here. It's Kami's Neko fan club versus Mar. I feel like this is just Luau and Seaboys under different names. How about you tell us a bit about the Catmaid fiasco of this month, Bash?
I don't know too much. You guess.
Fair enough. I feel like with Luau and Kami's Neko fan club and Mar, they both have done a lot lately. I think they're both Div 3 and Ludi right now, and they've done a lot in like other tournaments. Luau won Aquatic Cup at one point, and Seaboys played really well in the latest SEC season, so I could really see this going either way.
Yeah. It really depends on what maps there are, what strategies these teams pull out, what compositions they pull out. Either way, I'm looking for some excitement to start the event. I have been away for quite a bit, but yeah, it's gonna be back, and it looks like we've got the maps. Oh, or do we?
All right,
yeah,
it
we
seems
do.
like we do. All right, so we're going to be
on Snapper Canal. This is a crazy one to start off on.
Most definitely. It's one that's very open, so it's going to be really interesting to see how these teams work with a map where it's very easy to get separated from your team, or just very sectioned off from each other, since you could see about half of one's team on their street area, while the other half is on a hill somewhere. It's very easy to be rushed by all four if you're not prepared for it, so we're going to have to see a lot of coordination and just pairing up from both of these teams if they want to succeed on this map.
And the awkward map structure really makes them think about what movement they want to do. Do they want to go straight ahead? Do they want to sneak by a little bit? The flanking option can be a little tough if the enemy team is aware of what you're trying to do. But you can pull it off. You can end the match pretty quickly.
Most definitely. Flanks on Snapper, I often see one on right hill going into their snipe, and if you're able to pull that off, that could get a lot of pressure off of mid. So that could be an interesting option pulled off by either of these teams. But since we often see a bamboo or charger up on snipe, they're most likely going to be checking map, so it's going to be difficult to pull off that flank if they're aware enough, which these two teams, I'm pretty sure they will be.
Yeah. Special shout out to Fern, who's on one of the teams. I've had some good experiences commentating Fern. Hope their team can do well. But anyways, we are off. Both of the teams are moving. It looks like they're going straight ahead. One of the some are taking some wide routes, but mostly it looks like they're battling to break that barrier. We see some engagements going off. We see a couple down. We see, one down on each team. Now it's, that's a near white for Kami's Neko fan club, and Gatitos Mar now has the Rainmaker. These sea kittens are just going deep, and they already get 24 points on the board. And no, it looks like they're gonna keep going and planting it like a tree, and that's the first point in record time. It was hard to even say anything because it just happened so quickly.
Yeah, that wasn't even a minute-long match. We just saw Gatitos Mar. They immediately got a man advantage when they got 2 down on the side of Kami's Neko fan club, and then they just completely capitalized on that, putting a lot of pressure on the last 2 remaining. They went 1 down with the H3, but after they saw they had a 3v2 situation, Gatitos Mar just fully took advantage of that, didn't go another down. The H3 respawn jumped in, and then they were just able to fully put on pressure to be able to get into Kami's Neko fan club's goal. That was Rainmaker at its finest.
Sometimes that's all it takes. Question is, Kami's Neko fan club might be looking at that and might be like, could we do that again? Could we break them again? Or Gatitos Mar, rather. They're the ones who won the match. Next one is going to be zones on Piranha Pit, so it might be a little bit harder. We got some wide open spaces, good for engagements. And then around the zone, there are those inclines, which might help some backliners at a good vantage point. For me, I feel like positioning is going to be the key. I don't think Gatitos Mar can really do what they did and expect the same result. Of course, putting on the same pressure will be paramount, but instead of just rushing and just overwhelming them in just one big wave, they're just going to have to plant their feet and just lock it down like a bank safe.
Right. Spot Zones is played very differently than Rainmaker, where Rainmaker you just need one huge push to get into the opponent's spawn and then you win, while with Zones you have to keep a strong hold in mid for about a minute while that timer ticks down slowly.
Especially on Piranha Pit, where like all paths lead to the same area. There's not really, you can't really sneak up on people on that map, or if you can, it's kind of tough, and you gotta be really clever about it. We'll see. We'll see if any of the squad players on each of the squads try something crazy. But we're about to get started. Let's see what they're coming out with. We've got all shooters and a roller, and then we see a similar close range type setup from Gatitos Mar with a Splatling. I think that's a Nautilus to complement it. Might be trying to make good use of the incline.
I feel like that's a very interesting comp coming from Kami's Neko fan club. We see 3 midlines with a foil and, well, both types of foils actually. But now going into the game, we see Okwi trying to get some paint out for this armor, but unfortunately the team already goes 2 down. Let's see if Kami's Neko fan club tries to capitalize on this. We see them pulling out those bubbles on Okwi, getting a nice pick on them. The Not has Inkjet, but I don't think they're going to be able to use it. They're just trying to get out, trying to stay alive. They thankfully jumped out as the foil on Kami's fan club goes down, but it's still not going to be enough, as they're going to respawn by the time that Kami's fan club can do anything with this. It's going to be difficult for them to get back.
Wow, picking off that Nautilus with the Squeezer. One of the shooters on Kami's Neko fan club is locking it down really well. Locking it down like a city under quarantine, quite honestly. And keeping those green. The roller is just going to town. Gatitos Mar breaks through very briefly, but Kami's Neko fan club turns the switch back on. And right now, it's just looking like a reverse of the first map in terms of control. Gatitos Mar break through.
We see Kijo being able to get a nice pick on that shooter and then pulling out missiles, but I don't know if it's going to... Zone is able to be neutralized, and then they're able to get 2 down and then cap the zone. That was really nice from Kijo. As well as the other...
72 penalty points.
Right, it's going to be very difficult for Kami's Neko fan club to try to recover from this, or at least try to get back in. But they do have a lot of time. They just need to wait out this Inkjet that's coming out, as well as the armor and the missiles. This is going to be really difficult for them to deal with, especially since one is far right alone. They had to pull missiles, but to no avail. We see the Splash has bomb rush. Kijo was able to get a really nice pick. That was really important. They're not going to have a bomb rush for that. Unfortunately, Zap goes down, but so does Kami's Neko's foil, Flingza. So they're not going to be able to have much to be able to go off of. We see Skit being able to get a double with Crapid at close range. That was extremely effective. As we see the rest of his team trying to go up through their drop against Kijo and the Nautilus. As we see Red Zone being contested, as Gatitos Mar just tries to do everything they can to try and capitalize on this. But unfortunately, Luau was able to get that control.
And Kami's Neko fan club is back in control. But that Inkjet from Chickle from Gatitos Mar might turn things around. There's still a lot of penalty points that will need to be made up, but they are not giving up. They look at that zone, they go full Eric Andre and ask, what if it was purple?
Most definitely. We see an armor just being held right now from LMNopqrsT. They're just going to wait until Kami's Neko fan club tries to push back in, and then pop that armor, pop those missiles, and then try to see if they can do something out of this. We see a bomb rush coming out from Kami's Neko fan club, followed by a baller and bubble. The Neo Splash unfortunately goes down, followed by the foil. It's a 3v2 situation in favor of LMNopqrsT. We might see them be able to retake this and start trying to count down past the penalty here, as the not just charges Inkjet, gets a really nice pick, and now it's trying to rush that Kraken.
Aggro splatlings are always fun to watch. They're just like, are you sure you want to do that? And then they pull it off, and that just leaves the other team running scared, but no, they're bouncing back right now. They might be looking to paint the second part of the zone now, but LMNopqrsT is breaking through. They weren't able to break through quick enough as Kami's Neko fan club gets the cap very briefly and slaps on some more penalty points on the other team.
Right, that penalty is going to be really important from them. The zap goes down on the side of LMNopqrsT. Unfortunately, they won't have those missiles. We see a missile, bomb rush, and bubble coming out from Kami's Neko fan club. They were able to go really nice special coordination there that let them be able to retake control of zone. We see Drift just holding the right side, just chilling here, as we see a lot going on left side, as we see a bomb rush coming out. Wait, no, that's just the Nautilus, my bad. We see a missiles coming out, as well as an armor and a rain at the ready from the side of LMNopqrsT. They don't have much time, they're just going to try and go in with all of this. They use rain, the CDS is able to get a pick on the foil. Will this be enough? They were able to cap it, and now we're just going to see an overtime push.
They better hang on, but yeah, no, that was a really good use of specials. You just gotta wait for the right moment to coordinate all of that and make that final push, especially this late in the game. The LMNopqrsT just saw Kami's Neko fan club increasing their specials. They hung back, and they were just like, too soon, Junior, as they just breezed through and went for the cap as well. But now Kami's Neko fan club is fighting back. LMNopqrsT is on the skin of their teeth. And they're hanging on very well. They're trading with all these engagements. They've actually gotten the advantage a lot of times. We see a trade. They are just scrambling like eggs at the breakfast table right now. But it is working.
Kami's Neko fan club really need to wait on that. We saw a baller coming out from the Crapid alone, which then unfortunately died, leaving it into a 3v4. We're seeing zone still being contested though. So we see that foil was really close to bubble, using it, trying to just get any sort of advantage that they can. This is a 2v2 right now. We see a bomb rush coming out from that splash. Will it be enough? Zone is at 6 right now. Skit's able to get a really nice pick, followed by the Nautilus right in zone. If they're just able to neutralize this, they were able to just keep it there.
Clutch. Kami's Neko fan club saves themselves from what would have been a devastating comeback. It was so close as well. Like, probably like a tenth of a second, and LMNopqrsT would have won that. So the set is still alive. Kami's Neko fan club breathing the biggest sigh of relief right now. That was way too tense.
Right, I feel like they just went in way too early with those specials. We saw Skit pull a baller extremely early, as we saw they still had a bomb rush, which just was waited to be used. We saw a missile with bomb rush coming out later on, but with Skit down, it wasn't enough, and they had to just try and recollect themselves, and then wait for the spoils bubbles, for the splashes and other bomb rush, as it gets it very quickly, and then just try and go back in the zone again. It was really effective, though, with their retake.
Certainly. Yeah, no, I'm just really looking forward to seeing what that last match is going to be. What is the map mode of that again?
Right, it's going to be Tower Control and Mocha mode, which I feel like it's a really interesting... Tower is a sort of in-between, between Rainmaker's very fast, very rush down into your spawn map or mode, while Zones is just holding control for a while. The tower moves at a snail's pace, so you have to be able to hold it for a while, but you're also able to just completely go into the opponent's spawn and spawn camp. And you have to be able to do that in order to get control here. I feel like because of what we saw in Rainmaker, I think LMNopqrsT will have a slight advantage, but we cannot discount Kami's Neko fan club's ability to still be able to contest this.
True, true. I haven't seen towers on Mako Mart though before. This is gonna be fun.
We see a Pro
just-
and a Carbon coming up from the side of a Luau. That's really interesting. We see... Well, Kami's Neko fan club. My bad. GaudiosMR is just coming out with the same vanilla comp that's just been working for them so far. Junior pulling out an armor, Zap with a missile. They're really just trying to get an early advantage here. We see the Nautilus able to get a nice pick on the Carbon, but unfortunately 2v1 right here. Able to get a trade out as the Zap tries to rush this last one on left, as they were able to jump out there. What? I think that's just going to mean more neutral game.
And so far, Kami's Neko fan club seems to be getting the upper hand on these engagements, but they have to convert that to objective points. They
Right,
gotta remember the PTFO, as some people online like to say. And it looks like they are doing that as they are carrying the tower forward, and they've got a Booyah Bomb signed and stamped and ready to send. And that increases their lead further as they go past checkpoint 1. We see a lot of green on the field. This might be a supermarket, but it's more like a walk in the park for Kami's Neko fan club.
We saw the Pro pushing up far right. That was a really nice decision from them, just being able to keep tower safe until they were able to get all the way up to the 3rd checkpoint, as the Inkjet from, as well as the Inkstorm from the side of GaudiosMR is finally able to push back Kami's Neko fan club for just a moment to be able to recollect themselves. That's going to be really difficult for them to push back in, but they still have time. It's 3 minutes left in the game. They still can do this. They have that Junior's armor. They just gotta wait it out. Until they go 2 down, of course.
And it looks like... Yeah, it looks like GaudiosMR was pushing him back, but it looks like Kami's Neko is clawing back to the tower, making the Mart all green again, like that lush vegetation. Avoiding that bomb, trying to avoid the bomb, but getting taken out. But it looks like... Is the tower still... It's moving back to base. It's moving back to base. Now GaudiosMR just needs to think about clearing a path in order to push the tower further, as Kami's Neko fan club is just unrelenting, and they've been winning all the engagements so far. GaudiosMR just needs to put more shots on target.
Right, it's really difficult for them to push in right now, as they just have the Zap and Junior on left, but now we're seeing an armor coming out from Oakwee, so they might be able to do something with that. We see a shooter coming up on the right. That's a Junior with the Nautilus. That was really nice pairing, able to get the pick on the Carbon. They might be able to do something with that, as they're just trying to take mid here, just trying to paint up, get this control, so they're able to make, hopefully, another push. But we see an armor coming out from Kami's Neko fan club, so that might not necessarily be it, as we see just spamming subs, trying to keep all the control they have. Splash pulling out a nice bomb rush, as well as an Inkstorm, I think? Right, an Inkstorm and an armor coming out from the side of GaudiosMR. We're seeing a pick on the Carbon, followed by... We're just seeing a lot of specials coming out here. It's a 2v2 situation now. Oakwee's just trying to stay back as they're damaged, but we see only alive right now is the K-Pro on the side of Kami's fan club, just trying to back up right. They still have time, but I think this might be the first checkpoint for GaudiosMR.
Yeah, it is. And we got to see if they'll even take it. And yeah, no, they're okay. Yeah, no, they still have people moving towards it, and they take that first checkpoint. Very well timed armor, but now they got to keep the train rolling. That Inkjet just expired, so
right,
we gotta wait and see what happens.
That Inkstorm on left's really going to pressure them all and just go far right.
Yeah, Inkstorm will help.
We're seeing missiles again.
Yeah, it should have been into the other direction.
That was a really important pick on the one on the right.
Sides, I believe. Yep. And ooh, by 1 point once again.
This Carbon is last alive. They're just going to have to try and stall this for as long as possible. Able to get a nice pick on the Nod, but unfortunately still goes down to the side of GaudiosMR. This was really close. A nice clutch pick from Surskit. But I don't know if their team's still going to be able to do something. This splash is really close to Bomb Rush. We're probably going to see that soon. But I don't know if that's going to be able to contest the Junior's armor later on.
Yeah. They could have saved that for when the tower's a little closer, try to shut it down, and then try to maybe lock it down, play keep away of sorts. But anyways, 30 seconds left. GaudiosMR is back on the tower, making one last desperate push, or perhaps a series of pushes. They just got to position themselves well, get those specials on deck, and just not miss when one of the enemy players comes up and try to ruin their day.
It's really difficult
10
for
seconds.
LMNopqrsT to be able to push up right now. As we see, they're just constantly going one down. They finally get all 4 alive, but the Oakway finally goes down as there's a Booyah Bomb on tower. It's just a rally on tower, and Luau was able to take... Kami's Neko fan club.
Another 1-point fiasco, and Kami's Neko fan club takes the map and the set. I gotta ask though, first map, Gatitos Mar just completely overwhelmed them. What made them unable to do the same these second and third maps?
It might have been Luau just trying to get in the swing of things. They saw that Gatitos Mar was really rushdown based. They were able to just take advantage of any slight... Whenever Kami's Neko fan club gave an inch, Gatitos Mar took a mile. And we saw that during the Rainmaker game. So we saw after that, Kami's Neko fan club just tried to say, okay, we've got to wait for these pushes. We've just got to stay patient here, and we've got to go in as a group when we do this. We saw that on Tower Malco especially, but also during Zone's pit, we saw that they just waited for that bubble, for that bomb rush that finally was able to take Zone in a clutch moment. And
Kami's Neko fan club was able to change the pace, and Gatitos Mar just had no answer for that.
Basically. Like, it was really difficult for them to go back in once they saw that, well, I think both of the matches were still extremely close. It was just, feel like, especially in the first game, we saw Gatitos Mar, they were just able to push up extremely far with that slight advantage, and because it was Rainmaker, Kami's Neko fan club didn't really have a chance to be able to push back in, as they were already KO'd in about 15 seconds, but that was the set, and I think we're going to be taking a short break as we wait for more non-stop action here at Seeker Swim.
Keep here. are back with SOS 20 plus 5 plus 4. Echo, tell the lovely people watching who the next teams are.
Right, we're going to be seeing on here Azure, who has done really well as of late, against a Cowboy emoji? Interesting. But I know I've seen Div 2 Low-Ink Warrior around these parts, and they're pretty infamous around all of IPL, so pretty sure this will be interesting.
Why is their profile photo the black suit Spider-Man? That's great. I love that.
Let's not talk about that. But, I don't know. Teams are teams.
Shout out to Tobey Maguire.
Alright, so we're going to be seeing...
first map.
Yep, first map will be Clamblitz on Humpbag. This is... We've already seen a lot of openness from, like, Rainmaker Snapper and Zones Piranha, but I feel like this is one of the most open maps in the game, as, especially on Clamblitz, the clams that you have to gather to be able to throw into the other team's clam basket are scattered around the entire map, and since Humpback Pump Track is so wide, it's very easy to get separated. It's very difficult to deal with a team that's just going into one single area and pincing it with all of their resources. So it's going to be interesting to see how both of these teams react to this type of stage.
Yeah, just a chaotic combination of map and modes, just the pressed nature of Humpback Pump Track and just the chaotic nature of Humpback Pump Track. We're in for a good one. It's like playing Capture the Flag on shipment. It's
most likely, yeah. We're seeing
it's crazy, and it looks like we got some short range. We got I think a tent umbrella and a charger on one of the sides.
Yeah,
and then
I
think we got a Bloblobber in play too, so that's gonna make things funny. Bloblobber, the funny meme weapon. But anyways, it looks like is picking up a clam lead, and that Ink is going to try to push Cowboy Emoji as they the first clams.
We're seeing a disconnect from the side of Cowboy Emoji. That's really unfortunate.
Oh my goodness.
The crap.
Is it too early? Can we replay it? Or
I think they're replaying it. We see one of them in the middle of the map. But I think that gives us a bit more time to talk about these comps. These are really, really interesting. On the side of Azure, we're seeing a Bloblobber with a Junior and a Splash. Those are some of the weapons that get the most paint on the map, and even though they did have a disconnect near the end, we saw almost instantly as they got that initial push in, Azure just had the entire map painted in almost 3 seconds. So it's going to be interesting to see how slower weapons like a Crapid, like a Charger, like a Tenebrella will be trying to deal with that in the replay.
I mean, when it comes to the collecting the clams game that comes with Clam Blitz, map control is very important, and it looks like Azure is putting all of their chips into that section of their play. Time will tell if it works. It looks like it was working out during the start of the match before that DC, but they are going to have to be careful and make sure that they can win the offensive engagements should they run into an enemy.
Right.
The Bloblobber will really do a good job at providing covering fire, because those bubbles can get really annoying to dodge. Borderline area denial.
Right, I feel like the Bloblobber and the Junior are just there to be able to get full paint on the ground, as the Splash and the Squeezer are able to do a lot more with just having that entire map painted. The Squeezer's range, as well as just its ability to fire faster than a pro with still what's basically a 3-shot, it's very difficult to get out of the range of, to stay safe against, especially when it has bubbles in its arsenal. And Splash-O-Matic, even though it is a really painty weapon, it fires so fast and so accurately that it's still a menace to deal with in a 1v1.
Indeed. We're just gonna have to wait and see how each of these teams employ their setups once we get the restart. Cowboy Emojis better hope they don't disconnect again, because if I remember correctly, the rule is one and done. Get another chance.
Yeah, basically. We see that Cowboys comp is very slow, I'm going to take control here and not let you move into me. We see that with the Crapid, which just went down to the blob. That was a really nice snipe. But we see that they do have armor now, so it's going to be a bit more difficult for Azure to go in. But that blob might still be denying that attempt at them to try and grasp mid, as we see that bomb rush coming out. But unfortunately, the rest of Azure goes down as this blob is the last. We see the rest of Cowboy rushing it as it's able to get a nice jump out, but we already see the Tint just trying to set up on right side, while the rest of the team just goes on left, gets some paint down, charging those specials. They have bubbles, they're really close to armor, and we're going to see a hopefully big push here from the side of Cowboy.
Very good double team. And yeah, Cowboy is just out here saying, we can play the paint game too, and now we're throwing in these clams, and there are more clams to throw in. I gotta watch out for the enemy over there. They didn't watch out, but maybe. Oh no. Azure's just doing a good job of just shutting down these pushes. But no, they're missing someone. Someone's throwing in clams. Yeah,
Turtle was just able to put up his 10 on right side, while the rest of Azure was just focusing on this. On their own right side. Turtle came in from left and used bubbles. That was a really effective tactic, really common, as we're seeing Azure doing the exact same thing with that squeezer, trying to just get those HP tanks as they're able to stand under the clam basket to throw them in, as it's really unsafe there, but those bubbles can make it less so. As we see, they already got a push to 40, and only the junior is down so far. Azure got two really nice picks that might be the continuation of a push as Turtle's last alive, but they don't have any clams. The Tint just drops them. Will they be able to get them? Unfortunately, they are not able to get that.
They were too late. If they got another power clam in play, they'd be able to clap back right now. Yep, 38-29. Azure's not doing too bad, and they've got a lot of clams surrounding themselves with. You just got to make sure they survive as they plant another power clam, and they might be trying to break through the penalty just slowly by slowly, but the problem is there were 3 down on Azure. They're still spawn back, and now Cowboy Emoji is going to have 2 pity clams to play with. One of them's down, but it looks like it's going to be picked up. And what do you think? Do you think they're going to try something funny with a super jump?
I think this comp is really slow. I don't think anything can really flank here. We're probably going to see a baller coming in from the Crapid or bubbles from the 10. They're very slow weapons. I'm going to just set up here under your clam basket and then throw as much as I can under you. We saw Azure try to go in a bit too preemptively after their initial push, as that junior just tried to stay in, but unfortunately they were picked off, and so the push ended. We see that Azure's 2 down right now, and so the Tent's really close to bubble, as they're able to get a really nice pick on that Splash, who is just overextending a little bit. As Azure tries to set up defenses here, we see they have bubbles from that squeezer that are going to be really difficult to deal with from the side of Cowboy, but that Crapid with that bowler is going to try and get a couple of jumps here. We might be seeing a big push here.
There we go. Yeah, Azure has some power clams in play too, but Cowboy Emoji was taking their time shutting them down. But now they've broken the barrier, and it looks like they are going to try to throw in another power clam using those bubbles as cover. They miss, but at least they break through the penalty. Can they pick that power clam up? I'm not sure they will be able to, and they got to make a whole other one. But at least they maintain their lead, and the next power clam will lead to an increase in lead, as they'll actually be able to score some points on the board.
We saw Azure not waste any time
and they've taken
there.
the lead.
That was really nice from Azure. They saw that they had the advantage after the push just got under penalty from the side of Cowboy Emoji and fully capitalized on that, able to get a push down to 4. And oh wow, Toast just went in and got the rest of it. That was really well done from Azure, but Cowboy Emoji was still able to do pretty well. I feel like it was just a matter of they were a bit too... Well, the power clam miss was unfortunate, but I feel like on the counter push, Azure was just able to set up so quickly with the weapons that they have. They were just able to go in with all the paint that they needed from that Splash, from that Junior, from that Blob, and just able to get full clam control as well, since it's a lot easier to get it when it's on your own painted ground than the enemies. And eventually we're just able to get that final push in. Alright. Sorry about that. There were a couple of technical difficulties, but we're seeing that Azure is now 1-0 against Cowboy, but it's not over. We still have 2 more games here. We see that the next one is going to be Rainmaker Anchovy. Pretty interesting map. Very fast as far as Rainmaker goes, as if you can pop the Rainmaker and then take it off of the fan, you're able to rack up points extremely quickly. So it's both that map that's very easy to push and a map that's even harder to defend on.
Yeah, I'm there. You'll have to excuse me. What's it? Connection's not the best, but yeah, Rainmaker on Anchovy Games. That's gonna be a fun one. And yeah, it will be really fast, but it really comes down to whether or not these teams can lift the platform in mid and just go straight through, because you can't really go through the sides on that map.
Right, we're seeing a pretty standard comp coming out from Azure, given what they pulled out last game. Early in, Inkjet and Missiles coming out, as Turtle opts for a Machine here instead of a 10. That's an interesting choice. As we see just a lot more aggression coming out from the side of Cowboy, trying to get early picks right now. We saw the Squeeze already going down, followed by that preemptive Rainmaker take. Cowboy's able to get a 2v1 right now, as the Blob is the last alive. They're just going to try and pop this Rain as fast as possible to get that paint down in mid, and then try to just get better control up in the opponent's straight area and just their side of the map, so they're able to push this Rainmaker as far as possible. We see they're able to get a nice pick on the Squeezer, a splashdown jump coming in from Turtle. Unfortunately not doing much, but getting a lot of paint down. That's going to be really important later on.
Indeed. Yeah, can't really say exactly how important map control is on a map like Anchovy Games, where there really is only one path, but having more paint is always nice, especially if it means preventing the enemy team from pushing forward with any speed.
Right, and we saw that Azure was just able to take control of their comp's very fast paint playstyle and just be able to get all the paint in mid very quickly, then able to get into their straight and get a push to 44. We see bubbles coming out from the Squeezer here. It might not be able to pop that Rainmaker, but that bubble is still going to be really pressuring the side of Cowboy. They need to get that Rainmaker out of there before Azure is able to pick it up again. At the very least, trying to stall it until it resets back to mid. As we see, as they're trying to get that, but unfortunately, it still resets. Really good for Cowboy. As we see the Zap trying to get in, and now the Splash is the last alive. The Zap really went... That was really unfortunate, not able to get an armor off. But Cowboy still has a chance. They still have mid control. They're just using one of those 3 specials they still have, so they're still able to get a really push here. A really good push here, sorry.
What do you think the winning strategies are going to be for each team?
I feel like for Azure, it's just going to be more of the same. As much paint as possible. They're just going to try to get it down, as well as just trying to get constant pressure from that Inkjet, as we're seeing right now. While on Cowboy, it's still a bit slower than the comp of Azure, so we're probably just going to see them rely a lot more on their picks, and as the Pro, Charger, and Machine are all really aggressive weapons, so it's going to be interesting to see how they play out. Rainmaker's on fan right now.
I can definitely see Prep being a big factor, especially on a map mode combo like Rainmaker on Anchovy Games. There's really only one path you can follow, whichever T you are. So if you are able to win your engagements and get a wipe, or at the very least prevent a team from moving very far close to spawn, you can really score a lot of points if you're on the offensive.
Right, and we're seeing just, even though there is only really one way to go with Rainmaker on this map, there's just a lot of area to paint in mid before you're able to go through that path. So we're seeing a lot of this really fast paint coming from the side of Azure. These bubbles from the Squeeze are not able to do much, unfortunately, as they go 2 down. Able to get a nice pick. Now it's a 2v2 situation. Mr. Z just trying to do all they can as a Charger, staying back, trying to stay safe, giving their teammates a potential jump point. As they have Ray, that might be a really nice stop later on.
Yeah, no, definitely. Really interesting seeing the back and forth between these teams.
Right. This has been really close set so far, as no team has really been able to get a huge push in, but Azure's paint control has made it extremely difficult for Cowboy to try and get in. We see a Splatoon coming out from the machine, able to get a pick on the blob, but is going to have to deal with the Inkjet alone as the rest of the team has gone down, as that's a delayed wipe. It's only 30 seconds left. It's going to be difficult for Cowboy to try and get in an overtime push, maybe, but Azure is trying to push, not even letting them have that chance, as they already get a push to 20. And the Chargers last alive, just trying to do what they can with tap shots, but it wasn't enough.
I mean, at that point, if the other team is just in desperation, could just play keep away and prevent them from even getting the chance to score. But the problem is, pushing back like that, you risk putting yourself in a position to have the Rainmaker take it and lose the lead that way. What do you think they're going to do?
I feel like... Right. I feel like that was just a matter of Azure was able to get so much paint in mid that they were just able to completely overpower Cowboy. In the short time that they had when they had an advantageous state, Azure was able to paint up a lot faster, and map control is so important in this game, even on a mode like Rainmaker, where a lot of people's first thoughts are just to see who can get the most kills, who can get a wipe, and then push the Rainmaker the farthest. But it really just matters a lot on paint as well, because without that control, you really can't move around to get those 1v1s, to be able to get those positions that you need to be able to get that push. Azure was able to do that, and we might still see a 2-1 on Game 3, as this is Play All 3. But we might also see more of the same. So it's really just going to be a toss-up as to what happens here on Zone's Reef. And I feel like it's going to be difficult for Cowboy to get in with their relative lack of paint, as we've seen with the first two games, compared to Azure. What do you think, Bash?
I think pretty spot on. If Azure is able to maintain the pressure that they've been this whole set, they could definitely make a statement with this map. But at the same time, I am looking forward to seeing how Cowboy Emoji does as well.
Right, I was almost expecting to see a tint coming out from Turtle on Cowboy, but we're seeing a machine here on Reef. That's likely because of just the sheer verticality of this map, and the idea that bridge is so important here. As we see the machine already getting a lot of pressure on that bridge, Mr. was able to get a really clean snipe on Azure, as it's a 2v2 situation right now. Another really nice pick on the junior on bridge, just trying to get as much control as possible from that. Unfortunately, as Azure has a main advantage, they were able to recapture zone here, but we're seeing a bomb rush come out from both sides. The blob goes down, that's no more bomb rush from the side of Azure, so there's going to be a lot more control, but there's still that flank that they have to watch out for, which is now an Inkjet, so it's going to be really difficult for Cowboy to try and just keep this zone. We're seeing an armor come out right after that Inkjet finishes, but that jump was just a bit too unsafe, punished really well by the side of Cowboy, as they're just trying to spam subs into zone, get that safe pressure down, able to recapture zone with that, as Azure goes 3 down, and actually goes into a delayed wipe. That was really well played from the side of Cowboy.
Yeah, it's good to see Cowboy Emoji make some moves of their own, put some pressure on and with their own. What do you think they're going to need to do in order for that to be sustainable?
I feel like they really need to keep bridge here right now, as we see already Turtle going down before they're able to splash down. The splash going into bridge, able to take their plat as well, getting a nice pick on the charger. That just instantly went from a 4v4 situation with all of mid taken by the side of Cowboy to a 1v1, which now Azure has a lot of control mid, as this Inkjet's able to get 2 picks, last his charger alive, having to jump out right here, just trying to stay alive, keep that bomb rush, now painting spawn, trying to get what they can to try and get a counter push here. But it might not be all that easy, as that junior is still just holding their armor, as the bomb rush and bubbles are still here, able to be popped at any time from the side of Azure, just waiting for Cowboy's push. We've seen a lot of specials coming out here. Those bubbles able to get 2 really nice picks here, as one flanking spawn. I'm pretty sure that's a splash, able to just solo cap zone against Pika. That was really nice from Div 2 Low Wing Warrior. Finally able to get a trade. That was really impressive, able to hold that lead right there.
Ooh, but that double team. Yeah, no, Azure is still showing that they still play the pressure game really well. But there's still a good deal of penalty points that they need to make up. But
that Inkjet was so well timed. As soon as that charger used Bomb Rush, it just instantly said, no you aren't, and just was able to instantly recapture zone. And that honestly let Azure take lead right here.
You're taking the lead. They're taking the lead. Very well done. And yeah, no, Azure just needs to keep this up, and they will be able to take the set.
Right, we're seeing this blob. They still have Bomb Rush here, as they just keep putting up this pressure on the side of Cowboy. Not really able to do much. Turtle forced to splash down here, but still goes down. They don't really have much time. They need to get back in the zone, but the bubbles will still be out there at any moment. They go 2 down once again, as Azure is able to take this 3-0.
And Azure gets the dirtiest 30 I have seen so far on Swimmer Sync. So overwhelming. Cowboy emojis gotta get back on their horse and ride away, I guess.
I feel like that was really well played from both sides, but it was just the comp of Cowboy that it was so much slower, but unfortunately they weren't able to capitalize on the Chargers' positioning. They weren't able to get it in positions where it was able to punish the positioning of Azure, as they were just able to get back into mid so quickly, and really just avoid the charger until they had armor or a bomb rush to be able to just force it out of its position, and then rush the rest of the team as their defenses were scattered.
Yeah. Good effort from Cowboy emojis, though. Very well done from Azure.
Most definitely, and I feel like we might be having an advertisement for a certain tournament series very soon. So until that time, I feel like yeah, alright, so we're already getting on that. So it's going to be a Midway Ink Tour right here. You can see their schedule on the stream layout at the moment, with a lot of their socials being plugged. Alright, I think Bash has a bit more information on this, so
yeah,
if you'll take it away.
Midway Tour is running again with Tournament 3 on Saturday, May 22nd at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, or on cool side of the country, 11 a.m. This is your chance to earn more points for your team. Those with the highest point total at the end of the season get to play in the championship game for a cut of the prize pool starting at 200 big ones. Follow them on Twitter at InkMidway for more info. Yeah.
Alright, so Midway is a really nice tournament series for the mid-level scene. If you've been banned from Low Ink recently, or you just want more practice for your team, this is where you're going to see that carnage, where you're going to see probably that cowboy emoji as well. Pure Divinity, Universal, a lot of big names going in this tournament, and if you place well enough, you might even be able to get coached by FT Win themselves. So it's a really nice opportunity. If you're interested, go to that Discord, to that Twitter for more information for it. And I think, as we're waiting for that third match, you'll have a lot of time to do so. So, without further ado, we'll be getting back to you eventually with more Sink or Swim.
Yep, keep it tight.
All right,
We
so
are back with the next round.
that we are, and this is round 3, so it's going to be the last one of groups Nessie's Schools before you get right into Top Cut, not wasting any time here. Right now, we're seeing Mocha versus Oi. Let's talk about a bit about this, shall we, Bash? Alright, so I think I've seen Cotton and Kim around on, I think it was Team Upgrade before, so this is likely a pickup. But they're extremely skilled players, really solid. On the other side of Mocha, I recognize Havoc, who is also pretty notable. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the rest of these teammates of either team are going to be able to go against each other. I don't know much about this, so it's going to be a toss-up for me. Maybe someone in the chat knows a bit more. So it's going to be interesting. First map is going to be Tower Control on Sturgeon Shipyard.
Yeah, this one should be fun. There's a lot of verticality, so protecting the tower from backliners on the high ground will be paramount. Don't let yourself get cut in half like Anakin on Mustafar. That's all I'm saying.
We're seeing both teams pull out some sort of backline, but not really the charger that you might expect. We're seeing it's Jet coming out from the side of Oi, while an Expo coming out from the side of Mocha. Both sides are one down right now, just trying to keep neutral. As we see a tent coming in from right, just trying to get as much control on left side as possible. Trying to get this interesting pinch here with their own Splash-O-Matic on the side of Mocha. Able to get a nice pick here on the pro from Umbre. We see a Bomb Rush and a Baller as well as Bubbles coming out from the side of Mocha. Unfortunate death to the Crapid. Really nice work from Cotton as the side of Mocha goes 3 down, tends to last alive, just trying to stall as much as possible in those bubbles before Mocha tries to get this push in.
Clear the path to the tower. Ooh, tower just touches it and gets that 1 point on the board that will give Oi the lead very slightly. But right now, it is still in full-on deathmatch territory. All I'm hoping is that with a name like Mocha, that purple team puts on some caffeinated gameplay. But right now, it's Oi looking like the ones that are hyperactive. Just bringing the tower along ever so slightly, but also just making sure they're getting their picks and preventing Mocha from just even touching the tower.
Right. We saw especially...
Just imagine the whole map goes like this, though.
I can't see it going like this for the full 5 minutes. We saw that 10 at start was really important to just keeping the side of Oi away from tower until the rest of their team could respawn. So we saw Oi instantly adapt, saying, okay, we've got to deal with this tent right now. And then they were able to kill it and then get to 74, which was a much better push. But unfortunately, they did go down here, as we see the side of Mocha being able to get a lot more control here. But the K-Pro being able to get on left side, just with its flank, able to get to the Bomb Rush coming out from the Splash, just trying to keep them at bay for as long as possible, waiting for those respawns. Seeing a lot of passive gameplay from the side of Mocha. This pro is close to BR as well, so we might see a couple of specials coming out from the side of Oi to try and tilt the balance.
Yeah, Mocha's playing very defensively, just trying to make sure that Oi doesn't extend their lead further, and basically just trying to punch a hole so that they have a path to extend their own lead. But K-Pro is having none of it. They just unleash the Booyah Bomb and just snipes Umber, going for that Splatling now, getting some delicious 2-piece tenders. Are we going to make it a 3-piece? Where has that baller gone? They have retreated and they have super jumped and they are out of there. And now Oi is just going to push the tower into the first checkpoint. Are they going to clear it? Are they going to clear it? Yes, it looks like they are. And they
that was a really effective playing in neutral from the side of Oi. They were able to get a lot of specials coming out from Mocha, adapt to it, and then be able to use that Booyah Bomb, get 3 down on the side of Oi to be able to push that tower through first checkpoint. It's going to be a lot more difficult for Mocha to try and defend against that. But we're seeing bubbles coming out from this tent. The Crapid already down. We might see this tent just try and set up camp here on bottom right, even though they don't have camo, and try to get that first checkpoint down.
Mocha has shifted the momentum back, assisted by the Tentabrella and Bubbles of Assisted. But how long can they keep that momentum? They've just popped some missiles. Now it looks like they've got some They got a baller in play, but they weren't really able to do much with it.
What is this Expo doing? They're just in the opponent's spawn, even though they might be a wait.
Maybe they're counting on the rest of the team to come forward, and it looks like they are. With 1 minute remaining, they're gonna have to make this push a good one, though.
Right, and it's going to be difficult to do that with that Ray out. We're just seeing that C-Jet trying to keep as many rays on that tower as possible, just trying to slow down the other team as much as possible. That Crapid under left, able to get 2 with their AoE shots. The mini last too far away from tower to make much of a difference, as they don't have much time left to try and get to that balance back in the side of Mocha's favor.
Yeah, they really just had to dip, duck, dodge, and dive through all of the fire coming from the direction of Oi, but they could only do so for so long before they got overwhelmed. Now the tower is back in neutral. It is a very close map, but of course, with the tower in neutral, Mocha is going to have to go to full distance in order to get that dub. 10 seconds left. You think they will be able to maintain composure for as long as it takes. They're already at that checkpoint. That Stingray going to try to shut it down. Someone on Oi is going to have to hop on that tower in order to stop the match, though. And, ooh, come on, Kugo. There you go. There you go. And that's the first match going to Oi.
That was really effective gameplay from both sides. We saw neither of them were really willing to let the other side take full advantage of them, as on this map, once you're able to get into the opponent's court, into their snipe, and just abuse that positioning, you're able to get a push at 20. So really nice defense on both sides. We saw Mocha almost get past the first checkpoint, but unfortunately just out of reach for them, which eventually let Oi take that victory.
It seems like both of these teams had a good back and forth. Mocha just wasn't able to follow through as well for whatever reason. Maybe they rely on a more defensive strategy. If so, Clam Blitz on Inkblot, they're gonna have a little unless they put some more of that Mocha in their system and just kick things up a notch.
Right. I feel like the weapon choices for Tower Sturgeon were really interesting, to say the least. They played an X-Blosher, which is usually seen on, like, Clam Blitz splat zones, since the weapon's able to paint a large amount around where it shoots, but it's not able to get the damage output that you might want if you need to stop tower as soon as possible. So we might see the control-oriented comps of Mocha favor them better in Clam Blitz Inkblot, where that tent's just able to set up on the opposing side's plat, while we see that X-Blosher get on one of the stacks and just pressure Oi from mid. But we're just going to have to wait and see.
Maybe. Me personally, I like seeing guys run the unconventional lineups, push the metagame a little bit, and I guess sometimes some players see things in certain weapons that others might not be able to see, and as a result, most players in the player base will sort of question and doubt a certain weapon or certain sub's viability in a certain map mode combo, when in reality the weapon could actually be really, really good. Right now, it looks like Mocha is staying with a somewhat defensive lineup. We see the Tentabrella. We see, I think that's still the X-Blosher coming out, so they are going for distance, but they got to make sure they're able to pick up clams while the members of Oi are just going in with their rushdown setups. We see the two-piece from Cotton just breezing through them like cotton candy, and right now, yeah, no, Oi has just easily got the clam advantage. So maybe sometimes the obvious solution works. In a fast and frantic mode like Clam Blitz on a smaller map like Inkblot Art Academy, you will want to go with a more overwhelming lineup. Oh, but Assisted's making that Brella work.
Right, I feel like that tent's going to be really crucial in the pushes of the side of Mocha, as they just want to set up that tent on the opposing side's plat, get those bubbles out, and try to stall for as long as possible as they're able to get those clams in. But I don't think Oi is going to let that happen before making a huge pushes of their own, as K-Pro throws that Booyah Bomb into their plat, able to get a really nice score of, I think that's going to be 2 power clams. Yep. I think Cotton was in a baller. Wait. Were they in a bubble?
I don't know. I think they just walked up slowly and just threw that power clam in. I don't know what Mocha was doing. They were probably preoccupied with the other players.
Right, but regardless, we see that an immediate counter push is coming out from the side of Mocha, as we see those namesake bubbles coming out from the tent, followed by, it's just immense shield, so much health points, able to get a really nice clam, well, teammates are able to pass clams into that tent, able to finally get a slight push in, which is now being followed up as the side of Oi is actually in a 1v2 right now. That was really nice coordination from the side of Oi, able to take a lead and have a lot more pressure here.
The pity clam. Let's go. Let's go.
I think that's going to be the end of their push.
Yeah, oh wait. Yeah, no, it probably will be, because Oi is just hoarding all of the clams at this point.
Right, and we see this Sex Vulture just trying to get back a bit, trying to stay safe, but it's hard to stay safe against that bomb rush from that Slusher Kugo, as they have that power climb, just trying to throw it in as soon as possible, so their teammates can follow up on it.
Oi just erases their penalty at this point, but are they going to do anything more than that? Oh no,
they will. Cotton just got a power climb, and another one coming in from that super jump from Kim, able to get that lead.
We're making a whole bucket of chicken right here. But what's it? Right now it looks like Mocha is going to try to push back further. They're not taking it lying down. Now they're hoarding the clams, and they are going to try to make a crazy type of push.
Right, we're seeing the Sex Vulture
right now, though. Maybe try.
Sex Vulture's taking really aggressive positions right now, just trying to help their teammates as much as possible, trying to get that pink control so they can gather the clams that are scattered all around mid. The side of Mocha already has 19 clams right now, so we might be seeing a push really soon. Newt trying to get this pick, unfortunately just having to back up, staying safe. You had those clams with you, just wait it out, wait for that tent to set up fully before you're able to get that push in. Unfortunately, the splash goes down, followed by the mini right after, as they spent just a bit too much time there on the left side. As always, sets up their defenses.
It goes power clam from existence. K-Pro now hoarding the clams. That was some really good timing. Just make them think that they'll be able to get something in, and then just send them all the way back with their clams in your hands. But now it's 35 seconds. Oi's still got the lead, but only by 10 points. And I don't know if they'll necessarily want to extend the lead. They can definitely go for a barrier break.
Ooh, I feel like they're just going to hoard it right now until they're able to get a lot of picks now. Now just not wasting any time, going right into their plat, trying to keep as much pressure as possible. They do not want Mocha to get a power clam, as that would initiate overtime here. They only have 10 seconds left. They have 4 clams now, just trying to find as many as possible on that field, but Oi already took so many off the stage. See them passing clams over to one single player, but it just wasn't enough.
Oi gets the 2-piece, securing their position in the set, but Mocha, honestly, they didn't do that bad a job compared to last time. Yeah, I mean, Ois was still winning all the engagements and putting on the pressure, and I do think that their sense with regards to picking the compositions was a little bit better. Of course, I admire Mocha for trying a little something different, but on this map mode combo, you really can't go with too much range. Rainmaker on Starfish, though, that's a different story. Of course, it is still a rushdown type mode, but with all of that open space, you will want something to keep the other players in check while keeping yourself pretty far away from them. What do you think we'll see?
I feel like on Rainmaker Starfish, this is a map where if you're able to get the other team 3 down or in a wipe, you have a push to 20 in your hands. It's very easy to get a push that's very close to goal on this map. It's very difficult to get that final push into their goal. So we probably won't see something like we just saw on Snapper Rainmaker early on. We might see just a lot of neutral game here, teams trying to play it safe as much as possible, since they do not want to go 3 down here. They do not want to let the other team get a gigantic push in. We might see more gameplay that's like Tower Sturgeon here, where it's just going to be a lot of teams trying to play keep away, trying to just keep that distance from the other team, so that they won't be able to get a push in.
Yeah. It'll be really interesting seeing what they come up with. Starfish main stage. I don't really see that map very often on Rainmaker personally.
I think
there are a lot of routes you can go through. That's the one thing I like about it. It's not really just like straightforward. And I mean, there are other maps like that. Black Belly Skate Park comes to mind, but the problem with Black Belly is that you sort of enter into a time warp the moment that the match starts on that map. So I'm really looking forward to this.
I feel like Starfish and Black Belly are some of the most vanilla Rainmaker maps that we have, since it's just very easy to get a good push in if you have the right setups. So it's very rewarding of players who play it defensively to not let the opposing team to get Rainmaker that far into their own base. It's also very rewarding of offensive gameplay, as that will allow the team that's playing offensively to get into the opposing team's base as soon as possible. We're seeing the side of Mocha going in with that 10 Expo again. That pair's really defensive, so they're probably just going to be trying to play it safe. But it's going to be difficult to do that against that K-Pro, that Machine, that Crapid, who are just going to try and pair up as much as possible to get that chip damage down on the opposing team. As Mocha already goes down with that Mini, the Machine flanking on left. We're seeing the Expo just trying to do what they can here, but the Machine is armored now, so it's going to be a lot more pressure coming out from mid as the rest of the team is able to capitalize on what the Machine was doing on right side, able to get 2-down situation here, as the Expo still has Baller, they still have time, but it's going to be difficult to defend from here. We're seeing both of those specials coming out here, trying to stall as much as possible.
Cotton really just try to go the distance, and again, some more points on the board. Yeah, I mean Mocha was able to shut it down, but I think I know what the issue is now. I think they're hanging back a little bit. They gotta get the confidence to push forward and go on the offensive. And right now, Oi is just taking full advantage of that. They are losing some of their players, but the ones that are near the Rainmaker, they're just gonna try to make it as uncomfortable for Mocha as they can, just so they can trip them up and then go for the kill.
Right, it's very difficult right now for Mocha to be able to push in, as when their splash goes down, all they have on their side for offense is a Mini, which is a very painty weapon. I'm going to help you push in, but I'm not going to push in myself. A Tent, which is able to stall really effectively, but it still needs another player to be able to finish those kills off, and an Expo who gets that chip damage, but can't finish it off itself. They really need that splash alive here, and if it keeps going down here, they might not have a chance to be able to push it in and get past their own side of the map against Oi.
Yeah, because I mean, we saw some good picks with the Rainmaker just now from Doragon, but the problem was there was no capitalism on that on those picks. They really didn't try anything with regards to moving forward, and as a result, Oi is really just able to keep the Rainmaker on that side of the map.
Right, and as we're seeing here, we're just seeing Oi going to, we're not going to have that capitalism idea here. We're going to have all of our teammates getting an equal share of this aggression, as that Crapid isn't taking any time out, just trying to get as much pressure as possible, unfortunately going down, but that Junior's still alive, the Pro and Machine just getting as much control as possible. We're seeing a Bomb Rush coming onto the Rainmaker, might be able to pop it, but the K-Pro was able to get them before it caused too much damage, as they're just trying to hold Snipe for as long as possible to get Mocha, or to get Oi another push.
That Bomb Rush got someone though, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, K-Pro is just locking it down like a bank safe right now, and just taking full advantage. Oh, yeah, I don't know if that Rainmaker burst hit anyone or not, but yeah, no, just props to Oi for being able to make those pushes and knowing exactly where they need to position themselves if they are running with haste this time around. If they want to seal the deal and get that knockout, they're going to need to slow down a little bit. Probably stop breakdancing and start doing the tango or something like that, and just just thinking things through, clearing a path, and then following through. Because you can't really sneak, even though there are multiple paths, you can't really sneak by on a map like this.
Right, and as we just saw, that 10 Umbrella Shield is only going to be there for so long, as it's just going to either be shredded or fade away, then Oi's going to take advantage of that. I feel like a big issue on the side of Mocha is they just don't have any bombs aside from that bomb rush. We see they have a beacon on that Tenebrella, point sensor, burst bombs from the minion splash. It's really difficult to pop Rainmaker with all of that, so there's just going to be a lot more pressure on the side of Oi when it comes to safe range pressure. But that splash being able to flank does give a bit more pressure on the side of short range, so I might be overstepping my balance here.
Yeah, and it looks like Oi might have been overstepping their bounds as well, as, yeah, they tried to overextend, and that didn't really lead to much success. But now they seem to be correcting themselves as they break the barrier. Kugo trying to paint the area purple, but being pushed back by that baller. It looks like the Rainmaker is going to be reset, but that's fine. All Oi really needs to do is just keep Mocha off of the Maker, and they've got the 30.
Right. They just try to do everything they could right then to try and get that bomb rush onto range for an instant pop, but they just couldn't get there in time as the machine was just constantly on snipe. It was honestly just a matter of Oi was able to get a lot more pressure on the side of Mocha with their bombs, with their much more aggressive comps, while we're seeing that K-Pro just able to be completely mobilized by the Junior, by the Crapid and Machines support with their chip damage. While on the side of Mocha, it was a Tent and an Explo, which are two really slow weapons. It's really difficult to coordinate those effectively against something that's such a rush down.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't really go the full distance because, as I said, they needed to slow down a little bit. But then again, they didn't really need to because Mocha was... They didn't have too much, I guess we could call bravery. They were hanging back. They really couldn't get themselves to move too far. So all that Mocha really needed to do was just go enough of a distance so that they could just start playing defensively. And they played defense so offensively with just a fury that Mocha really couldn't do much with it.
Right, I feel like Mocha's worst map mode here was probably something that's very rushdown, like Rainmaker Starfish. Tower Sturgeon, we saw that Tent trying to set up on right, we saw that Explo just trying their best to just get some control down in mid and hold it. It was really effective for tower control, even more so for Clan Blitz, where they were able to get a lot of good pushes in, but it just wasn't enough.
Well, props to Mocha for trying. Good stuff to Oi for getting all three of those maps in. We are going to move into bracket after this map, so keep it tight. We're going to take a little break.
Before then, we are going to have a bit of an announcement. So there is a tournament. If you are new to the tournament scene, to the competitive scene, and want an accessible entrance into this scene, or if you're currently just a free agent and want to show off your skill, or you just want to have fun and meet new people, there's a really nice tournament that fills all of those needs. It's called It's Dangerous to Go Alone. It's happening May 29th, and it's solo registration, so you can sign up alone, and the staff do make teams, so you're going to be matched with a couple of new people, and it's basically what's considered a draft. So registration does close on May 25th, so you need to register soon before it's too late. Join the Discord. It's going to be in the Twitch chat, and you can find more info at otd.inc/IDTGA. It's Dangerous to Go Alone, abbreviated.
Yeah, It's Dangerous to Go Alone is always a fun one. If you or a loved one has experienced a recent team disband, this could be the cure for all of your blues. In fact, you may end up finding your new teammates. So definitely check it out. But yeah, back to more SOS momentarily.
Right, we will be back to you soon.
Thank you. Welcome back, everyone, to Swim or Sink 29. My name is Krakenmare, joined again by Echo. Well, I shouldn't say again because I wasn't here in the previous ones, but Echo is back and he's here for another round. How you doing, Echo?
Yep, I'm doing pretty well, Kraken. And yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot more of action from Swim or Sink here. And we're going to be seeing Azure again, now in Top Cut instead of groups, against PrimeChan, which has 2 members from Carnage Gaming. Pretty notable as of late.
Yeah, I mean, they do a lot. Both these teams are really amazing teams, and that's why they both made the Top Cut for a reason. Both these teams absolutely shredded in their groups, winning both of their respective groups here. And we're going to see them both going head-to-head in this one to go face another winner of their group if they can hold on here. So yeah, we're going to be seeing some fun stages here. Echo, what do you think about this first one here on Zone Skipper Pavilion?
Zone Skipper is very easy to get separated on. Speaking from experience here, you can either go from top to an area that's like above zone, or you can go from bottom, which is separated from zone by a wall, which is pretty awkward to deal with when you're on bottom, or even top for that matter. It's very difficult to get back in once the opposing side has control of top and bottom. But if the entire team goes in the same way with specials, it can easily work in their favor. So,
alrighty, here we are getting started with this set, and it's gonna be a fun one here to watch, Echo.
Most definitely. We're seeing pretty similar comps from what we saw in groups with Azure. That Blobblobber coming out once more with the Junior. Now a Squeezer coming out, as well as a Nautilus. A bit less painting power, opting more for aggression. While we're seeing something more on the side of aggression, on the side of PrimeChan with that CDS, with that K-Pro. Unfortunately, the K-Shot is already going down, but PrimeChan is still able to get some for a split second before they're just having to contest neutral here.
Here we see these dualies just trying to make something out of nothing, but getting absolutely rushed by 3 members of Azure, making the smart decision to stay alive. I mean, that's the most important thing. Life can mean a lot more there than it is if you just go ahead and take the loss and maybe take a trade. Life is so meaningful in Splatoon.
Most definitely. But also, we're going to be seeing here that map control is just as, if not more important than that, as we see this Junior almost die to that Booyah Bomb to try and just keep paint on that zone as long as possible. The foil does have bubbles at any moment, so as PrimeChan just tries all they can to try and get back into zone, it's going to be met with a lot of aggression from Pika, who gets a really nice blob snipe all the way on the other side of the map, as Blob does. And as time ticks down, two unfortunately die, either going to the water or to one of Azure's, and they are able to take it, barely breaking a sweat here, just popping that armor and those bubbles near the end to get a clean win.
Yeah, Azure really just taking them down in this match. You know, it's kind of sad to see here. PrimeChan, they're made up of solid members, but it really just comes down to teamwork versus being a pickup, and that's one of the big downsides of playing as a pickup is you don't have the team coordination that something like Azure has. Azure had amazing team coordination. They were moving up and down that map as needed, while PrimeChan, you know what, they couldn't even kind of get together and consolidate themselves in a forward push to kind of even fight against Azure. Again, those PrimeChan players, honestly, might be more mechanically skilled than the Azure players one-on-one, because not to be against Azure, but compared to some of these other higher teams and players, they are a little bit less mechanically skilled, but they are so good with the teamwork, it makes up for that. And when you look at players like Taylor, like, you expect them to just out-mechanic skill them, but when Azure has such good teamwork as they showed there, they absolutely get that job done here, Echo.
Right, and it's much different in this Top Cut now instead of groups, where you're not going to be facing against a Div 4 team whose mechanics you can just basically overpower with your own. You're going to be facing against a team who has played months against teams that are up against their level, best of the best, and it's going to be really difficult to break their defenses, to break that coordination when you're playing with people who you probably played with a couple of times, but not enough in that group to be able to challenge that sheer coordination power. And it's going to be I feel like we're going to see a lot of that coordination coming into play again on Tower Ancho.
Yeah, Tower Ancho is all about coordination. Tower control in Splat Zones, you really have to have that coordination when Really, honestly, I would say Clambless in that, but I would say zones and tower control, you really do have to have a lot of team coordination. I would say actually tower more than splat zones to really push forward a lot, just because of how slow the objective is. If you're not moving together, and with that tower, the tower can't go really far. Once it hits a checkpoint, it's just a sitting duck for the opposing team, and so you have to be quite smart on this one if you want to have some success.
Right, and we're going to be seeing here a Luna coming out on the side of Prime Chan. Really interesting pick with that Slosher. I think they're just trying to change something up to see what can work. This is a best of 5, so they still have a couple matches to just find their bearings, see what can work, what doesn't. We're seeing an Armor coming out almost instantly to just try and get this Luna up onto the opposing side's fan to try and get something out of neutral.
One of the big things that I want to point out is the amount of paint that Azure has. Azure is great on the paint department. Either the splash, they have the blob that we just see here, getting a double! Great job here by Pika, going down as well. But, hey, they managed to get 2 and put down a ton of paint. This map right now being a little bit more on the green side than it is the orange side. Taylor going down as well. That is a delayed wipe here of Prime Chan. But like as I was saying, the big thing is the turf control that Azure has. If you don't have any turf control, you can't really move. This isn't like other shooters, like things like Call of Duty, Battlefield, etc., where you can still move around even if you're down. If you don't have turf control, you can't even move in this game.
Right, and also, that turf control doesn't just help with the ability to move, it also helps you grab specials, like we see this bubble coming out here from Noob, able to get 2 picks with 1 kill and 1 assist, as they're just able to push all the way into their office with those bubbles. But right, as we see the Splash already able to get an Inkjet, as that weapon paints a lot more than something similar like a 10 attack or Nautilus. And they're just able to get so many specials so quickly that they're just able to keep a constant pressure onto Prime Chan. And that is going to be what gets them through that second checkpoint.
Yeah, getting through that second checkpoint is huge. That's usually the big choke point in this game. Getting through it within the first 2 minutes, that is setting such a strong precedence for this game. It's very difficult to come back from, and you can already see here that Azure is continuing their push. They backed up with 2 people in a 2v4 situation, and they didn't lose the opponent's plat because the amount of paint they had, and then getting their opponents or their teammates to jump in, and now their opponents have their backs against the wall still after getting multiple members down of Azure, and they're finally just getting to their own plat.
Right, and we're seeing that Prime Chan with those members of Carnage finally able to grab their bearings, but not before Azure was able to get yet another point on the board for their side, just able to keep that control on their straight for so long. We're seeing now Taylor just trying to keep as much control onto the fan of Azure as possible, just trying to get some form of an advantage here. We see an Armor coming out. Taylor's really close to an Inkjet. We're seeing it here basically uncontested in this area on Anchovy. This is a really good Inkjet map. And we're seeing a counter Inkjet from Azure. The foil does go down. We might see a first checkpoint here as Taylor gets yet another pick. And Prime Chan is finally able to get into Azure's own street.
You know, the funny thing, what Pika tried to do there, we have actually seen them do on stream before here at SOS. This time, because of the movement of the fan, it actually made the blob shots miss. So, luckily there for Taylor, they're able to get the pick, but not able to fully take advantage of that. But it doesn't matter because their team gets 3 members down, and it looks like this tower is going to have an easy ride here to the lead. About a minute and a half remaining, and first of all, Azure's got to stop them, and then they're going to have to go basically the entire length of the field here to win this match, Echo.
Right, and it's going to be really difficult to get back into this after a push to 19 from Azure. We're seeing a bit of a pincing situation attempted by Azure, with 2 of them going on far left, while the other 2 just try and go in from mid. But it isn't enough as Taylor's Inkjet just gets 2 on far right as they're finally able to get 3rd checkpoint. I think this might be the match if Riss is able to stay on tower and Prime Chan takes game 2.
Yeah, we saw a break.
I think...
oh, go ahead.
I think that was just a matter of Prime Chan finally able to get the control they needed. They were able to push back into mid, unlike game 1 where they were just kept out of zone skipper. But with tower, they were able to just wait it out. It moves really slowly, so they were able to just wait until it got to that checkpoint to be able to push it out and then be able to get a bit of a foothold for themselves to be able to push the tower to a knockout situation.
Yeah, one of the big things is once Azure lost their paint control, and they kind of lost a little bit of coordination, they started to get picked off one by one instead of going down necessarily as a group. I think that actually would have benefited them. Sometimes getting wiped as a team, a quick wipe where all 4 of you go down at the same time, actually be more beneficial at some situation because it forced you all to come out at the same time here. And with Azure, they were kind of stagnating, so they were kind of facing 2v3 situations in their opposition here. And so what Taylor and Rissa did, Prime, etc., what they did is they took advantage of the fact that they are more mechanically skilled than Azure and kind of took those, all right, we already have numbers, and now we have somewhat of coordination because we have more numbers than you, and we just absolutely bop them all the way, snowballing it to that KO.
Right, and a staggering situation often makes the opposing team begin to panic as they see that lead ticking down, very close to losing it. And since it was so far up into their base already, that tower, it was very pressure-inducing for Azure. We might see something similar happen on Clam's Mako, but we might also see the paint control of Azure taking a foothold of this map since it's so paint oriented, so huge, and because clams are scattered on the entire map, it's really important to get that paint control. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. As Taylor gets a really nice pick at start.
Yeah, nice pick there by Taylor, but a good counter pick here by Pika, able to get... Oh, that is a complete wipe of Prime Chan! And this is going to be score here for Azure. They managed to get one ball in. The bubbles are there to try to get more points in. We see Noob able to get 6 little clams in. Toast coming in with another 7. Able to get on, another 3 or 4. Mudcup having another 6. Going to try to score something out of nothing here. And managing to score those clams here.
Yeah, that was a really nice push from Azure. They did not waste any time just going into the opposing team's clam basket with those bubbles, which allowed them to get those... immediately get those 6, followed by the other 2 teammates. That was a nice pick from Prime Chan on the splash with Luna. They are showing that they are not going to let this go down alone, as they're trying to get a counter push here. Getting a lot of clams already. Control on right stack is being contested by that blob, which is just holding a lot of pressure, but I think Prime Chan is just going to say, okay, blob's over there, on right, we're just going to ignore that and go left.
I think this right here is a good example of team pushes versus kind of the pickup pushes. You saw there that Prime Chan wasn't necessarily quite all together there, so they only able to get that 1 power clan and 1 additional clam. On top of that, Azure just had great defense. They were very coordinated in their defensive stand. On top of the fact that on their original push, they were very coordinated as well. They kind of spread it out over time. They had a couple people focusing on kills while other ones were focusing on getting in clams. And that's what you want in Clam Blitz. This is probably the most team-oriented mode. And if you can't work as a team here, most of the time you are going to lose that map, this map mode. And same thing with zones to an extent too. And I think that's why we see in tower control, we saw the pickup here have a good advantage and do quite well once they got their footing, while in zones and so far in Clam Blitz here, Azure has the upper hand.
Most definitely, and I feel like the bubbles as well are a huge contributor to their initial push from Azure, since they're just able to give a huge HP tank under the clam basket, which is really difficult to deal with from any weapon to just try and pick off anyone under clam basket, since you have to deal with the bubbles first. As we're seeing another push coming in from Azure attempted, but unfortunately they go down to a wipe, as Prime Chan is able to hold a really nice defense, not even breaking their penalty from Azure, as Rissa is already going in for another counter push.
Yeah, Rissa able to get in the 1 clam. Couple small clams coming in from, I believe that was Prime. Taylor has another one here. Going to go down to Toast and Pika. And this push is over. Only, I believe it was 12 points scored, if I can math right. I think it was 77 to 65. So that should be 12 points. You know, of course, can't be upset over getting 12 points. It's better than 0, but it doesn't get you the lead. And when you have multiple members down, Toast getting a 3rd. This is an opportunity for Azure to score. The ball going down again. A great defense here by the 1 remaining member, but that isn't going to be enough to completely stop Azure from scoring anything. And there are some points on the board. Toast having lots of clams ready, getting I believe that was maybe 10 or so in there. And Pika trying to get any more in, but not going to be successful. But it doesn't matter when Noob has your back, getting that KO in favor of Azure.
Right, we're seeing just a lot of, as you said, Kraken, that coordination from Azure. Just as the Bloblobber tried to, well, as Pika tried to go onto right sag, immediately picked off, but they had their teammate go in, leaving Pika as a distraction, as Noob was able to take that KO. That was just a showing of sheer coordination, of being able to take advantage of the fact that you guys are a team, you have played together for months, so you've been able to basically devise different strategies for these specific maps. They're able to come into play in these certain situations. I don't know if that's going to stay the same, though, in Rainmaker Blackbelly, which is a much more kill-oriented map, a much well, it still has a requirement of map control, but not so much as what we saw in Zone Skipper, what we saw in Clams Mako. It's going to be very oriented in defense, since if one team wipes, the other team will get a push to 30, since the Rainmaker, once you grab it, you can move at a speed of your Inkling being able to swim. So it's a lot faster than tower control, where you have to just sit on tower. You can just move as far as you want, as long as you aren't being shot down by the other team on Rainmaker. So it's a lot more difficult to hold that defense when it's so close to getting a lead or even a KO in some situations.
You know, something funny I want to point out, when a lot of backlines grab the Rainmaker, they actually get to swim faster than they get to with their main weapon, because the Rainmaker has a lower penalty on your base swim speed than like something like a Hydra does. So it's just funny sometimes when you look side by side how fast like a Hydra is moving when they have their main weapon versus the Rainmaker. So something also to think about too is that no matter what weapon grabs it, you get the same penalty of the Rainmaker. So something like a Sploosh that may be all swim speed, your swim speed still factors in to how fast you can move. But if like everyone on the team has no swim speed, they all actually will move the same speed with the Rainmaker. So just because you have something like a Hydra or an E-Leader, if they're in a situation that they're the best to grab, go for it, and you're not going to get that penalty on movement that you kind of talked about there, how fast Rainmaker can move, and move even faster than some people realize.
Right. I'm not necessarily sure if the backline will be the one to take it, though, because even though that penalty won't be higher, they still need to have that counter Stingray for the other team, since it's very likely on Rainmaker, Blackbelly, we're going to see some custom Jet Squelchers, which are just able to... We saw a lot of specials coming out earlier with the Bloblobber or Splash, but the C-Jet's able to get raised just as quickly, which are able to shut down any push that we see.
Oh, I totally agree.
Unfortunately, none of them are using that.
If you're in a situation where your backline is something like that huge defense, totally don't worry about grabbing it unless like your main couple people to pick it up are down, or like it's a 1v0, like 100% grab it and go. It don't matter. But yeah, so you're right though, no Stingray on this map. It's a little bit surprising, but when you consider what people are playing for what teams here, and knowing them, none of them really play Stingray weapons. They all really play what you see here and now, which is a lot of aggression and a few fun things like Bloblobber from Pika.
Right, and we are seeing that Bloblobber and Try just being able to get a delayed wipe here on the side of Prime Chan. The Rainmaker going down, but already getting it up above that small climb there. Unfortunately, the Splash going down to the Slosher from Alzi. Finally able to get missiles here. That might be a deciding factor, unless Noob is able to just pick them off with a foil squeezer. Then going down to the Junior. This is just a bloodbath right now, just trying to keep the Rainmaker as far as possible for Azure. And for Prime Chan, just trying to keep Azure at bay, trying to just get a bit of mid control. Unfortunately, it's difficult to do that when Pika's blob shots are just lobbing into Prime Chan's body. So it's just this is a lot of neutral game.
This is such a bloodbath. I can't even keep the camera on somebody that's alive for 5 seconds. Again, another person going down. Every moment here, see if the Rainmaker's gonna survive more than 5 seconds here with Pika shots raining over their head. Risk are gonna get the lead. Gonna try to rush forward. Dodging Pika's bullets all the way down to 17 remaining. Down to 12 remaining. Able to get a massive push here. And it doesn't look like it's necessarily done. Cool. Yeah, it's going to be done now with that pick there by Mudcup, securing that last kill there. I believe it was the bucket was the last one there in their spawn. And so this push is now over, at least for the moment.
Right, I feel like that might have been just a matter of Azure being a bit too desperate to hold on to that 64 push that they had earlier, which allowed PrimeChan to just try and charge specials and get a really good opportunity to be able to push in, as we saw a lot of those respawns are being staggered as they are now, as the Try and Splash are just starting to respawn.
I'd like to point out here that the Luna already has 10 KA before the halfway mark in this game, on a rate getting 22 KA. That's an amazing rate already through this set. Looking to get another one. Not able to secure it on Pika. Pika trying to do whatever they can here to stop that Rainmaker. That Rainmaker is a little bit of a lone. Going to go down here. Bomb rush coming out from the green team here. PrimeChan able to push it even more. Going to probably not get any points out of this one, but they did manage to kill even more time, another 30 seconds or so here, and every moment counts here, keeping Azure back as long as possible.
Right, and moving that Rainmaker forward, even though they weren't able to get any points, they were able to stall, as you said, and now we're seeing Azure not only have to get Rainmaker from mid to the other team's side, but now they're having to move it from their own spawn into the left area, which is sort of known to be not as quick, but it doesn't really matter when you're already able to wipe the other team. PrimeChan finally almost able to get the lead, but unfortunately going down to just a rain of shots. We're seeing them finally able to take the lead before able to wipe themselves. That was a really fast movement of the, well, a fast movement once you get past a certain checkpoint in a push to left on Black Belly Rainmaker. The points just start going down very quickly. So it's very important for the opposing team to just try to stay alive and not all go down at the same time. As we saw there, it just meant the lead.
Just want to point out with that was just a team coordinated push. You have, I believe it was Toast up front, you had Noob back behind the Rainmaker, and all they did was just push together. The Rainmaker in the center, and the one that was behind took care of the one that was trying to get around and flank the Rainmaker. I mean, that's exactly what you want to see in team coordination. They had a couple people push up forward once that Rainmaker went down. I believe it was, the Tri-Slosher and the Blob, I believe it was? I might be wrong. I think the Blob actually might have been the original Rainmaker. Toast sat there, popped it, and got the lead with their assistance of their team. Maybe not directly, of course, being there to help pop, but getting those kills and keeping the opponent back. What team coordination you see from Azure, it's so amazing.
Most definitely. It's really just a matter of they played together 4 months. It's basically instinct for them at this point. Like, they didn't even have to think or shot call to say, hey, we need the splash in front of Rainmaker, because they were already there by the time that they were pushing up, by the time that they had that wipe. Unfortunately, we're already seeing here, they were able to just one by one get they were able to pick off PrimeChan's members when they saw that they were alone. Finally able to get the Rainmaker as the last one alive. That was just another matter of Azure being, having this impeccable level of coordination.
I just want to point out 22K by Mudcup there. Absolutely shredding. We talked about that Luna doing so great in the first half. The Luna had a great, I believe saw it was 18 KA. So amazing job by the Luna. The Luna still ended up with a fantastic game themselves. But that Tri-Slosher 22 KA, a lot of that coming in the back half there. And that really what helped push them over the edge, getting those offensive kills and some defensive kills in that back half. I mean, they were close to 10, I believe, when I called out the Luna. I think they were at 8 or so. So they still got another 14 kill KA, that means, in that back half of that game, Neko.
Right, and as we saw there, it's not necessarily in Rainmaker. It's not like Splat Zones, where it's more of a how many picks, how many good situations can you create within a game. Rainmaker is more of a how many good situations can you make within a span of 15 seconds to push this Rainmaker before it dies. And because of that, Azure was just able to get those good situations on and on, able to snowball the Rainmaker all the way up to a push of 6 before finally going down.
Alright, Echo. I believe it is time to switch out or to get Lancer in here. So, Echo, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at @StarryEcho_ or honestly at a lot of other tournaments. I TO for a lot of them, Sink or Swim actually, Midway and SAC. So I'm really happy to be able to help out the competitive scene in a lot of different ways. So you probably already see me around somewhere, probably in your match chat saying finish your matches already. But you know, yeah, let's get Lancer in here and start the next round. Best of luck.
Thank you so much, Echo, and we will see you in the future here on an IPL stream. Of course, you did a great job today. All right, though, everyone, we will take just a very short break here. The next set is already ready. We're going to get Lancer in here and start with our top 4 in just a moment. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully just maybe a 30-second, couple minute break. See you guys in just a moment. And we are back with top 4. I told you it'd be quite a short break. I am joined by Lancer. How you doing, Lancer?
I am doing pretty good today. I'm pretty excited to get into top 4. It's going to be a good time. I can't wait.
Yeah, we are going into a fun one with these fun names. LMNopqrsT. That is quite a long name. Thank you.
Wow.
Of course, you can see that they are reflecting their names here. Misa, Lucas, Taro, and Nick, of course. That's why there are certain ones that are capitalized while others are lowercase. Hence the joke.
Yep.
And we have, I think it's supposed to be Stalker. I think it's what it's supposed to refer to. I might be wrong here. But this is Steffi, Terra, Kiwi, and Leafy. All of these players here are veterans of the Splatoon community. All doing some pickups, having some fun on this Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a pretty interesting match as we have our first game on Starfish Tower Control. What do you think we'll expect from the comps in this first game?
Well, trying to remember what everyone plays, we're going to have, of course, I think Nick. Nick is such an oddball here. 1 minute they're playing Ink Brush, next minute they're playing aggressive, next minute they're playing backline. So that's going to be a toss-up. I believe Taro is going to be backline, so Nick will probably be on something like a Slosher here. Lucas usually is on Junior. Steffi, usually some sort of midline. Leafy's going to be probably on Nautilus. Trying to go through everyone here in my mind. But that's kind of the weapon we're going to see here with Tower Control, Starfish Main Stage. You're going to see probably a couple Inkjets here. The Inkjet Nautilus is a great option on this one, Lancer, I believe. And probably see that from Leafy here in just a second.
Hey, here we go. We're just setting in, and we see a little bit of a bamboo in play. for this side, I believe, of Stalker, if I'm right. No, yeah. We got a few good comps here. A lot of last-ditch effort on the side of LMNopqrsT. As you see, Leafy notices a flank on the way. Ray has already popped out. Got a little bit of action there between the Gal and Leafy. There's one down, two down. There's the nice double to start it off. Leafy.
What a flick by Leafy. Effectively, that's what it was. Able to outplay the 52 with that, using the Nautilus ability to hold charge, and then flicks to get Nick. Nick, not a bad player by any means, just not able to close that range fast enough before Leafy could just turn and get those kills. And this leaves the opportunity here for the side of Stalker here to get the lead, or sorry, well, of course the lead if they get any points, but of course the first checkpoint in the first minute, and they're going to continue to get this push, though it might be slowed down with all of the specials that are coming out for the side of LMN. I'm going to go LMNT for these guys, since that is their initials. We're not going to go for all of those letters.
Yeah, that was a great job there from LMNT to pop all of those specials, try and keep them from scoring anymore, and try and make a push of their own. As you can see, they have a good amount of map control. Starting off in, they got armor from the junior. Well, one pick there from the bomb, I believe.
Yeah, this junior is a really solid junior, knowing when they can be aggressive and knowing when they need to be more passive with their team here. Something like the 52 goes down and the junior has an opportunity to go ahead and go get those kills. Lucas is not afraid to just go forward and get those kills, and we saw that there in those last few moments. But right now they know, hey, I need to play objective, I need to stay safe, let the rest of my team do their job, and I will do my own.
Yeah, as we see Lucas still staying on tower, getting a little bit of help from the blaster there. Get past checkpoint 1, as we see a little bit of defense coming in from the side of Stalker, as LMNT still trying for the push. Booyah Bomb comes out, but he gets triple teamed on tower, and that is going to end the push. 1 point away from tying it and close to taking the lead. A great stop right there from the side of Stalker.
Yeah, they actually tied the score, but Splatoon rule says ties are not allowed. The team that gets the score first is the team that gets the lead, and well, I should say keeps the lead for that matter. So LMNT, of course, are going to not gain the lead. As much as that was a fantastic push, able to tie in this situation, not good enough to get the lead here. With about 2 minutes remaining, they still have a little bit of work to do.
Yeah, there's Ray coming out on the side of LMNT, as we see Steffi still trying to get on tower. Gets it once just to stop it, but will retreat back up to their bunk. Oh, wait, not bunker, but good pick there. As we see Kiwi now up with close to a death to bomb there. Kiwi still survives, trying to paint as much as they can. Get a little bit of a fight with the Jet, but there's the trade. They're 2 down on the side of Stalker. I want to see if LMNT can make a push here. 2 down, but the Booyah Bomb comes out, stopping the push for a short period of time. And pressure comes up to the Gal, as LMNT is looking to start their push to possibly take lead as Ray comes out.
Yeah, the Ray comes out, not necessarily the most effective, but it is there to disrupt a little bit. Sometimes you don't need necessarily get the picks for your Ray to be successful. The tower pushing as far as they can, hopping on and off, knowing they cannot lose any more ground. That ground is huge, every little bit of it. And, ooh, Ray coming out again. Inkjet from Leaf coming out. This opportunity for the lead. They're going to get the lead here. They're not going to get past the checkpoint quite yet. Fighting for it. Lucas doing what they can, but Steffi here, nicknamed Rissa's wife, is going to go ahead and stop it for now. A little bit of fun there. We've talked about before previously the Rissa's wife jokes. Rissa was on a try stream with Magic and K-Bot here a couple of episodes ago, I believe, and they talked about that little inside joke.
Yep. Great time there. As we can see, Steffi trying to get this final push, trying to gain back the lead. Only 5 seconds left. Keeping it up. Oh, but the pick there from Lucas. Lucas is down as well. The push still goes on, but the Booyah Bomb comes out, getting it on tower time. The pick! The Ray not gonna stop, but they get the pick to end it. Unbelievable. That was heart-pounding. That was very close. LMNT... Wait, right? No, sorry. stlkr could have gotten the lead back and win it, but the crucial specials coming out just saved LMNT there.
You know, now that I'm looking at the player list, I'm going to go ahead and flip the screens here so you guys can kind of see it a little bit, what I'm trying to get at. I think that the stlkr's team is also kind of the same sort of joke that the other one is, because if you look here, you have the L, you have the S for Steffi, the T for Terra, the L for Leafy, the K for Kiwi, and then the R just because Rissa's wife. So I think they're both just the letters of their names. I did not think about that.
Team?
I didn't put that together right away just for the fact, like, because of the 5 letters of the other one. But that's where the R comes from, is because of referring to Rissa in this case, because of Steffi's current nickname. So both of these teams are just like, who needs to come up with a funny name? We're gonna just push all of our name first letters together. But it kind of works, I guess. It's entertaining, that's for sure.
Well, just meme for the night, you know. Do whatever you want. Do whatever's fun. It's alright. We have this tournament every week. Why not have a little bit of fun every once in a while?
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing about pickups, too. It's more about having fun at the end of the day. Would have loved some cat puns, people. This is the last week of Cat Made. Would have loved to see some cat puns, but hey, you know, we will go with the no cat puns this week from either of these two teams. Both the teams, though, showing that they are strong teams, that, you know, doesn't matter what their name is, they're going to get some damage done, and we already see this set ready to go. Both these teams ready to do some more damage.
We've same comp coming out from the side of LMNT. A little bit of change up there from stlkr as we see a mini come out, which we did not see last time, as Steffi starts painting up a good amount. The Ray comes out on the side of LMNT. As Rissa gets away from the missiles just in time. 2 down on the side of stlkr. There's a pick right there from Rissa. Rissa, my bad. Steffi. Oh, there's another pick. 2 down on the side of LMNT, and they pop the.
You know the
their special late.
The funny thing is, you said Rissa. Rissa was on the stream and called Steffi Rissa as well. So you're not the only one that just reads the names. We all do it. Sometimes not thinking about it. That was kind of funny.
Rissa even just making mistakes on the side of anybody's behalf. Oh, Lucas goes down there from Leafy. Leafy has been dangerous with Nautilus so far. And 3 down on the side of LMNT. There's a good chance for stlkr to try and get a push before they respawn, but they have already. Missiles go out as Leafy tries to survive. And, you know, we look at, Leafy, who is playing Nautilus. What do you say has been their strength so far this round between the tower control game and so far in this Clan Blitz match?
The big thing is the amount of aggression that Leafy can just bring out at any moment, and with the abilities of the weapon, when you know this weapon is in and out as Leafy does, you can pull whatever shenanigans you basically want at any time. Knowing, all right, I can hold the charge for a little bit, make a quick move, bam, dead, dead. I mean, we saw a good example really early on in that tower control game in the last one. And right now, though, it doesn't matter. Leafy is able to defend, keep it down to just 1 power clam. But you know what? Every point on the board matters. And, you know, when you have 0 score on your side, you're technically losing, even if they just score the bare minimum amount of points like they did now.
They missed the ball right there. Good pick right there from Steffi. The score comes in. Can Steffi score, take the lead? They will. Great push right there from Steffi, giving stlkr the lead. As Nick's ready to pop missiles here.
Steffi Steffi making their spouse proud here. Rissa, of course, in the stream. Hello, Rissa. I see you. Making their spouse proud, able to get that score here. Now with the lead, about 2 minutes remaining. Not a huge lead, though. This still very much an opportunity for LMNT here to respond to this one. But not if you're going to go 3 members down. Kiwi and the rest of their bunch here able to get the full wipe. And this is going to be a score opportunity. 1 ball goes in, 2 ball goes in, and maybe a couple little clams ready to go in. It looks like just 1 there from Leafy. Tara able to get another 4, add plus 12 to that score there from Tara moving back and forth.
I'm going to push there again on the side. Ooh, we get a little bit more into the basket, too. This Leafy trying to push the defense back as they grab Penny. 1 more just came in. Yeah. I don't know where that came from, but it did come in. But there, the push ends. Solid push on the side of stlkr. Ooh, good pick right there from Nick. Nick on the fight, trying to push away anybody who's trying to defend. And they're just going to retreat. Just keep it safe. Keep your team up. Good move right there from Nick.
Yeah, Nick here, creeping, ready to go for the flank. Going to go for it, but multiple members of their team go down, knowing I need to stay alive here. If I go down in these last 40 seconds or so, my team will be in a situation, potentially, where it is a complete wipe. And once you get completely wiped, it takes, probably a good 30 seconds to recover from it, which means they would have to wait all the way till overtime, really, to have a shot to take the lead. But now you see them holding back, and they maintained a good chunk of map control and are ready to push in, maybe 20 seconds or so.
Yeah. Get a little bit in, but there's a pick. Booyah Bomb comes out. They get the power clam in, but I'm not sure if they can even get any more clams inside. The specials are coming out on the side of stlkr, pushing them away from basket, and they just get the stop. Pity clam will have to be picked up. They make a clam as well. And they make a power ball just to be safe. Good move on the side of LMNT. And they really need to push quickly if they want to try and win this thing here.
They're trying for it, but that is a complete wipe. Oh. So this is over, and this will be a game for stlkr.
All right.
So a fun one.
Names all over the place.
Who needs actual names anymore?
Yeah, it's mean every day. I'll play by Tara there, 16 KA.
Yeah, great work by Tara. And really, though, honestly, we're in a good set here, a 1-to-1 set going into Rainmaker Snapper Canal. Rainmaker, though, last two, pretty back and forth. Rainmaker in a moment can be a quick KO. We saw that earlier on this map mode. Azure, I think it was Azure. No, that was the set prior, but we saw 100-0 in Rainmaker. We all blinked and the game was over. It was quite a crazy game in that one.
Yeah, I mean, just again saying that the last the last Rainmaker match can be back and forth, and also just could possibly be a easy KO. You never really expect what could happen in Rainmaker in the first place. It's probably why it's one of the better modes in this game and in competitive in general. Just the pure mystery of what could happen, and just what you want to happen, or what the other team wants to happen, or yeah,
I mean, it's complete mystery. This map is really good about the kind of mystery of where you can go from left to right. There you have all the different options in this one. All the different options, like left and right, it's a ton of different options. But that is more than most maps where you really just have one option that is viable. In this map, you do have the two different options. And on top of that, with the way this map is built, both ways, you kind of have two routes to get to the left or right. You can kind of see here with Leafy, you can kind of go up the hill through the slick, or you can go up through the street. While on the other side, you know, it kind of is always together, but you can go to the left or the right to go up the wall, and if you time it correctly, you can throw off the other team by just taking one direction or the other, being slightly outplaced, and get a ton extra points than you may have if you went the other direction. Though on this left side, it's pretty much whatever side you go, you're going to get about the same amount of points.
Yeah, definitely. As we see Leafy pop the Inkjet, trying to make the push even better, but they do take out 2 on the side of LMNT. Sorry, we don't have a score up right now, so I couldn't remember the colors. But yeah, the score does. The Rainmakers just go down, pushing it to 43 points. We see all 4 members of LMNT coming in to try and protect the Rainmaker as Nick and Leafy get into a fight. Nick wins the fight, gets 1 down, 2 down, 3 down on the side of Stalker. Nick, whoever got the Rainmaker there, also big stop as they almost could have pushed it all the way to the pedestal as Kiwi gets the pick there on Nick.
Lucas able to tag team with their member, get Kiwi down. Kiwi almost getting the flick actually on that one, able to get 1 member down, so their life was worth it in the end, but still not enough to make a miracle play happen and continue that push, or the Rainmaker is going to reset here. About 3 minutes remaining in this game, still over half the game to go. Finally, though, LMNT going to get their first score, and we see no additional specials other than those missiles already, so it's going to be quite difficult here for LMNT to get too far with the responding specials, and you can see them getting absolutely swamped with missiles and
yeah.
And I believe we now the Inkjets and armor getting ready to come out.
There's a good Inkjet there, just pushing them back as they take lead. LMNT could knock it out right here, and they will. Oh man, the Inkjet popped early just to push them back and get a few picks. That really came out to the best of their side on this push. Just ends the game right then and there.
Yeah, I mean, wow, that just okay. That just ended abruptly. I mean, that's the power of Rainmaker. Just kind of things turn and it's over. And we saw that in action.
Yeah.
I might be getting a report about an issue in this match. Give me a moment. I would have to check score. Alright, we're getting a report that it wasn't necessarily a disconnect, but we had a player that was unable to continue to participate, so effectively a DC, and that's why it did look a little weird, like, why weren't members continuing to fight? And, so that's the big question here, is what the score was at.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, that explains a lot. So, we're going to be going to the rules here. There's going to be a termination here by the staff members. They'll get to me here in just a moment. Of course, shout out to our staff members to do great work on this one. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and take that off the scoreboard until we get a decision from the staff up in the air whether or not this match will count. That will be a conversation for them to have, and for me not to. For me, I want to worry about... I'm going to look here to the 4th map here, just because we don't know whether or not we're going to see a replay on that Rainmaker Snap Canal. We already have talked about it a little bit. But here on the Piranha Pit Zones, what do you think the key position on that one is, Lancer?
I mean, I'd say definitely get good painting specials and just try and keep your zone, since it is one of the rare 2 zone maps, and just trying to keep each zone is basically a chore in and of itself. So you just got to make sure that you can paint, keep attention towards where the enemy is, and also to make sure they're not trying to flank and paint your zone before you paint theirs. So paint, basically. You know that.
Yeah. So still waiting on consideration. They're looking back to try to look back at the score, because that's going to be the big factor here, is mostly about score, because within time limits, we were within the time limit part. That was not the question here. It's whether or not that I believe it is what, Terra. Oh yeah, well, let me go look. No, it's not Terra. It's Taro, Lucas. Nope, I was right. It was Terra, Kiwi, Leafy, and Steffi. Their team, if they had gotten enough score to actually allow for the disconnect here. And I know it was close. I don't remember the exact score, so without going back and looking myself, I won't know. So kind of giving an update on what's going on here in this one. We're just waiting on them to give the final ruling here from our staff. So yeah, back to Zones Piranha Pit here. You're talking about some of the different sections of control. I think a big thing I would love to see is a lot more paint coming out from both of these teams. Both of them bring out a decent amount of paint. You know, things like Nick on the end zap are of course great for that. But always the more paint, the merrier on that map. I really say, with how big the map is. As much as you have areas like Useless that you don't really focus for those paint, of course that adds to how big that map is. But the big thing is you want to control those two different sides you kind of talked about before, and if you have that paint advantage, it makes it a lot easier to control those areas, and of course just outpaint your opponent. And when you get in those fights for the one single zone, because that happens, I would probably say what, like 6 out of 10 games at the end, people are fighting for the one zone, and it's whoever just happens to have the most paint at that exact moment to really end up deciding the game to an extent, whether or not it's going to at least continue on in overtime or go into overtime. I feel like that happens all the time with these 2-zone maps, you know, things like Black Belly maps, like, of course, Piranha Pit zones. I think Piranha Pit might be more notorious for that because it's a little bit flatter, and the zones are a little bit easier to get to from multiple different angles without necessarily having to fight for it. In Black Belly, you have like 2 angles, and one has like a good kind of shoot down location there from top mid, or at least from kind of the jails, I believe I've heard it called. I've heard a few different areas for that call out, but kind of have those different areas to attack down from, or sorry, from above down on. So like, I think Piranha Pit has that unique situation, so that extra paint can be very handy in those situations.
Yeah, definitely. And again, talking about 2-zone maps, you know that again, there's always going to be that one game where it's going to be like back and forth between, say, you capped one zone on one side, and then you're going to cap the other zone on the other side, but then the other team goes ahead and caps your zone that you just capped, and then it just keeps going on and on, where you're like, why did we choose to play a 2-zone map in the first place? Sometimes that just gets annoying, in my opinion.
Alright, we have gotten word. They have checked the VODs. They have made sure everything is good. This is going to be Steffi, Leafy, Kiwis, and Terra's replay for the match. They were within the rules to, if this was a DC, and effectively is what it was when a player can't play, and they stopped playing. We did see that. So this is going to be an effective DC, and we are going to see a replay of this match here. And you know what? We'll see if if the tables are going to turn because of the disconnect, or if both of these teams are going to kind of keep the same script here, where Steffi and Co were able to have a nice lead going into the DC anyways.
Oh, it is. You see a quick break coming out on the side of LMNT. Missiles also coming out. We see Steffi ready with missiles on hill, and they're gonna try and make the push for Rainmaker quick, only having one down at that time, but are still able to make a good push so far, down to 66. Oh, bomb underneath Steffi gets it. Lucas gets another one too. It's 2 down on the side of Stalker, as we've seen Inkjet come down, and picked up by Stalker as well, keeping the push alive.
Lucas shredding people left and right getting those picks. Kind of talked about how aggressive they can be at moments. Terra gonna go ahead and get the pick finally, trying to get Nick on the flank. Nick not gonna be able to succeed, but their Ray, it looks like, is gonna be able to get that Rainmaker in combination with the jet slash splash of Amisa here, who is going to go down in response from Leafy.
Leafy trying to get a little bit of high ground here as they want to make another big push, getting a few more points. Ooh, but they let someone pass and the kill is down, but the score is down to 38 on the side of Stalker. Great push. Ooh, right on the side of Stalker. LMNT can start their own push here and try and get lead.
Yeah, you're definitely right. They're going to go ahead and go for that push here. Nick with the Rainmaker, just trying to put that pressure down. Going to get Inkjetted. Yes, going to go down to the Inkjet here from Leafy. Leafy able to successfully get that kill. And go ahead and go back to safety this time around. A lot of times those jumps are going to be camped. And going to try to find some sort of opening themselves. But the counter Inkjet, it will keep Leafy back at least for a moment.
Yeah. And so far, Stalker has been pretty good at defending and making sure that the Rainmaker does reset here. Leafy pushing up a little bit, just trying to getting his way picked, but he runs into the Tenta Missile from Nick. As we see Nick pushing up, gets down 2 down on the side of Stalker. And we see a little bit of push on the side of LMNT, so close to getting lead, but is 3 down on the side of LMNT, and now Stalker is able to push back the Rainmaker, making sure that LMNT can't get a quick grab and lead just to save themselves.
Lucas getting another kill! Lucas here already up to 10k in this one. A lot of these are actually kills, funny enough, from the different bomb kills at this point. Absolutely shredding from a distance. But another 4 points, I believe, scored here by Stalker. And this push is going to be ended finally. But again, 4 additional points when the Rainmaker is towards that 30 point remaining. On this map, that's a huge choke point. And getting that many points is going to be quite difficult here for LMNT to respond to.
We see Asm going in, trying to get a little bit of an alley to try and make a small push and possibly get lead here as they take Rainmaker as well. Shooting it off a few times. Ray just come out on the side of LMNT, but there is 1 down.
Yeah, 1 member down, that's huge. You want to have that little bit of it. Those numbers advantage are always key, and if you can survive the specials, which the Rainmaker does, they have an opportunity to push here. Nick gonna push up forward. The missiles coming down though, good missiles, able to slow it down long enough for their team members to come back in. Sometimes that's all you need from missiles, is just to slow down enough here. 30 seconds remaining. Misa gonna try to push forward. Again, the missiles coming out relentless, but that Ray is a very well-placed Ray. It's gonna force different members of Stalker to come forward, and they managed to get 1. Can they get 2? And it looks like no, but Misa is going to be out of position, not going to be able to get the lead here. Shot down by Terra here on the on the NZAP. Ooh, Kiwi! What a play by Kiwi! Denying any more points, and this Rainmaker has been reset.
We do get a little bit of overtime though, so if LMNT can get a quick pop and push, but it looks like it's probably not going to happen as we see a pop from the side of Stalker. And that is going to be game. Stalker takes this win. Now they lead 2-1, heading in to Piranha Pit zones.
I want to double check. Do they have 2 missile weapons or 1? Oh, they had 2 missile weapons.
Yes,
okay. I was thinking for a second they only had 1. Because, oh my, if they would have charged that up as fast as they did in like 5 seconds, I would have been like, oh my god. But there was 2. There was the bamboo and the CDS there on defense with the missiles. Okay, because, man, I was surprised how fast those missiles came out.
Yeah.
But now we're going to be going to Splat Zones, Piranha Pit, and we talked about that a little bit there on that break that we had here. Do you think there's going to be any changes to the weaponry here, Lancer?
Not that I can think of. Probably they could put away the Ray if they want, but I'm not sure. They won't make any changes.
Yeah, I mean, for the side, I don't really think that stlkr is going to go with too many changes here. A lot of these players are pretty rigid in their weaponry, and I don't mean that necessarily in a bad thing, because if you have the right team member or right group of people, right, you have the right weapon comps, it doesn't matter that the people are kind of specialized. That's a good thing. That's actually more of a benefit than I would say being just a good general player. Right, good general players; those are always good to have. But if you can have 4 specialty players that knows the ins and outs of every single weapon that they play, like these players do. I mean, you always see Leafy on Nautilus, you always see Steffi on Mini, you always see Kiwi on the Bamboo. Terra's usually on NZAP. So these players know these weapons, every little detail in and out, and the combination of these weapons are actually working out really well. A lot of paint and actually a decent amount of killing power with that, especially from Leafy. So the paint supports Leafy, and Leafy can support the paint in a way through getting those kills. And it's really showing here through the first 2 games they have managed to the first 3 games they managed to take a 2-1 lead so far.
As we do see a small change, Nick now switching over to Crapid, actually. Kind of an interesting change for this zone's map. As we see Kiwi and I believe that is Steffi there heading onto the right side. Ooh, good pick right there from Taro actually got the pick. I thought that was going to be Nick, but ooh, Inkjet! Yep, gets the pick. Leafy gets the pick as we see LMNT actually take the first advantage of this game. But they are down 3 down on the side of LMNT, and it looks like the lead will possibly switch here to the side of stlkr as we see a good crucial picks.
And that's and that's where the Crapid comes in good here. That torpedo can be if done right is absolutely amazing. Ooh, the baller off the top rope, able to get to the. Can they get the triple? No, but their teammate is going to get the last one in. Just Leafy there on the Nautilus. Leafy is pinned right now, going to go down as well, and that's a complete wipe of stlkr. And this is a good opportunity for the members of LMNT to take a quite massive paint advantage, and of course take the lead here. Not in the first minute, of course, not a huge lead so far, but when you have this much map control, it can definitely escalate into a KO, if not at least a really strong lead, and they are definitely leaning towards that Echo. Or sorry, not Echo, Lancer.
No, Lancer, my bad. That was just a big brain move from Nick, heading from conveyor all the way to the opponent's zone, just saying, I'm gonna take this baller and wipe out anybody in my path. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna take zone, give us the advantage. As we see him go down to Leafy and is now in the possession of stlkr. The zone's Leafy still trying to go into a defensive mode to keep the opponents away from their zone. And Leafy goes down from Misa there with the splash.
Misa making us all lose our mind with their backwards name.
As you heard earlier, I said Hazen, not Misa.
And that's why the M is capital, of course, and that's where the M comes from in their name element. LMN and T is Misa for M. But anyways, Kiwi here on the Bamboo, able to get one with the missiles, and going to try to get a second one on the conveyor. Unable to do so right now, but able to pressure them backwards. And you know what? Sometimes that's all you need to do. And able to take a trade in the end. But it doesn't matter when multiple members of their team go down. But it ends up being a 1v1 situation. Taro versus Leafy on the Jet. Who will win this one? It will be Leafy.
Leafy wins. What a win! Alright, yeah, Leafy going in, and they do take zone right now. Can stlkr take the lead and try and get as many crucial picks as they can? We see Leafy heading back to their zone. A little bit of a paint advantage on the side of LMNT so far. There's one pick on Nick. Little Leafy trying to stay alive even with the Ray coming out. And they will, as we see the score quickly depleting And there is a chance Stalker could take the lead right here. Leafy pushing them back, keeping them onto the top of their their outlook right there, as they will take lead. Great job by Leafy to just keep them away from zone, just to make the push as worthy as it can.
Yeah, Lucas here trying to get something to go, but they're going to have to be pushed back with those combination of double missiles again. Of course, the missiles coming out from the Mini and the Bamboo of Kiwi and Steffi respectively, and both of them pushing back Lucas all the way to where they have to jump to useless and then have to jump out. So a lot of time eaten where Lucas could be painting when you want your junior to be painting as often as possible, puts down so much paint so quickly, and of course the assistance of armor is always appreciated for these offensive weapons.
You see Baller coming out. There could be a cap. Oh, they could not jump onto zone in time before the timer ran out to blow up. As Nick is back to just the Rapid, which sometimes can't paint very well, but there is a pick on Leafy from Nick, as they have 15 seconds to try and cap this zone and take back control of it, and they do. Nick's trying to paint as much as they can, throwing it in. 3 seconds left. Baller comes out to push back, I believe, Steffi. Nick trying to save this push. We get a little bit of a fight here between Leafy and Nick as they both go down. Another trade. Can they get the zone? No, they cannot. And Stalker will be moving on to finals.
Yeah, great job here by Stalker, able to successfully get the W. And I'm going to point this out here because I saw it right as it was ending, that we see 21k from Terra. Just pointing that out. 21k from Terra. I kind of caught that as the game was ending because it does show the KA at the tops above the weapons on the left side. So I saw it was over 20, and then I saw the one trade at the end. I went, we're about to see a big number here from the side from Terra, and 9 armors. I mean, and they got a good number of kills in there. It was probably about 50-50 kills and assists, I would guess. So, 10 of each. And that's super respectable. That means they're working with their team members, not just with armor, but probably getting some assists on those damages, etc. We saw that a couple times in the match. So Terra doing a fantastic job there. It's very hard sometimes for those supporty weapons to really shine. And that's why I really wanted to point out there how well Terra did. And yeah. Because sometimes how well you did as a support player just doesn't show up on the scoreboard, and I know that puts a lot of support players in a position where they don't get appreciated and they don't get the recognition that they quite deserve, or and sometimes it puts them off playing support, which is so crucial with any team to have that support. So again, shout out to Terra there on that end zap, getting those kills and getting those assists.
Yep. It's just, Terra and Lucas also on the side of LMNT. They just both said, alright, Slayers, you can just take the night off. We'll do all the killing as much as we can. Great job by both of them getting as many picks as they did, which was pretty big in almost every game. I'm pretty sure they had top KA every single game that they were playing, which is pretty rare to see since, again, like you mentioned, support players more or less are more focused on painting the ground, trying to keep zone or make a path for somebody during Rainmaker or Tower Control or Clan Blitz. So it's really nice to see a support player go ahead and have their time to shine in a moment like that.
Alright, before we get into this next set, our grand final set, these teams are getting in here really quickly, so I will be brief. But want to shout out to Testing Ground 17. That is this Friday at 8 p.m. EDT, which is 5 p.m. Pacific time for any of those on the West Coast. TG's IPL's bi-weekly tournament that runs a Swiss into Top Cut format. This week, the twist is there is no armor allowed, meaning that any weapon with ink armor is not allowed. So not even if you use it 0 times. So sorry, Terra, you cannot use that NZAP. You could use the other two NZAPs, for example, but you could not use that one, even if you had 0 armors used. So I just want to point that out here. If you are annoyed with armor, come out here on Friday at 8 p.m. here at IPL for some fun with Testing Ground 17.
Yep, this is a great time to finally get some love to Rain Zap. Because, again, yeah, nobody really uses that weapon. It's just, why not switch it up? You like NZAP 85? Well, too bad, you don't have armor. So, here, you got an orange one and you got a classic red one. Maroon, kind of, I don't know.
Alright, I want to go briefly because we are running out of time. Both these teams are in here quickly. They are ready for this night to be over. They want to fight it out. We have Azure versus Stalker. Both these teams have been on stream already. We kind of know what to expect from both of these teams. I will say that they are trolling us a little bit with Azure. They are messing with us, having somebody else named Risso's wife. I'm not sure who it is. I will yell at them later. That's probably I'm gonna
see.
Might be Raze, who knows, just messing with us. But
we'll see.
I'm not gonna spend too much more time on these teams, but we're gonna talk about the first map, which we've seen before, and we've seen what Azure can do on this one. Clam, Blitz, Humpback, Pump Track. What do you think about this one here, Lancer?
It's gonna be an interesting map. I mean, you have the basket up on a higher perch, kind of like how it is on Wreath. So defense can be very, very crucial up on those top ledges from backline, or even sometimes the Slayer, as we see. We do see a bamboo, but we don't really see really a backline on the side of Azure.
Yeah, Azure here. I can't remember. I would have to. I'm gonna have to go yell at them and figure out who Rissa's wife is. If it's gonna be Raze or if it's going to be. I'm gonna have to go back here and look if it is. I can't remember.
Raze.
Toast, I think is the other one.
I think it's Toast. Yeah.
Toast. So those
Raze
are the only
Toast.
two that aren't accounted for. So it's one of those two.
Yep.
We'll yell at them later.
As we see, the other Rissa's wife get the pick. We'll just say it's other Rissa's wife, so we're improvising. As we see, ball being passed back to Kiwi. Nice pick right there from Kiwi again. As we wait for a push to happen, and we do see. Oh wait, my bad. Sorry, that's on the other team. The other team that does have a foil squeezer on the team. Their comp, as we see Stalker score the first points. They're showing out and showing you why they are the top seed in this bracket, but they don't get any more besides the power of the football. As they just, as Azure just keeps getting picks and starts a push of their own, and they take lead as well. The bubbles do come out on the side of Azure as they score more and more. Hiding in the bubbles is Rissa's wife. And they get this down to 59.
Make it.
They could get a little bit more. They get one more. But I think that's going to be time. Yes, it is.
All right. I knew Toast or Raze weren't sounding quite right here with the junior. It is Mud Cup. Like I was like, who plays junior? I couldn't place who played junior in my head. I'm like, neither of those sound right. As much as I know Raze will throw out any of those. I know Toast usually plays on the Splash. So I was like, I can't think of it. But yeah, so Mud Cup here is trolling us a little bit. Being the other Rissa's wife.
Right now. Alright! Mud Cup! Fighting! Here it is! This is I'm on the side of Stalker. Taking a little bit of the armor off of Mud Cup here. And getting a little bit of a fight in pit, but goes down on the double team. Kiwi able to get the pick, trying to get a little bit more. Has a little bit of a hit, I believe, there. As they want to be ready to start a push. Missiles ready for Kiwi as they do come out. Only missing 2.
Yeah, missing 2. Kiwi getting a great shot on that junior. The junior goes down. Kiwi here wanting to actually be the real wife for Rissa. Taking down any other wives that oppose them. And Kiwi working with their team here to try to get the ones off rail so they can get opportunity to push forward. Taking down Rissa's wife again! The junior going down of Mud Cup. And the bubbles coming out from Noob trying to do something, and it is able to stall Stalker from going any further forward now.
It's just like, yeah, Kiwi right now is like, you're not the real Rissa's wife. I must kill you right now. As Pika goes down, 2 down on the side of Azure. There is one near basket, 3 down. There's one more down by basket as they pop Inkjet. There could be a possibility, but it will be a very delayed wipe as Leafy, gets the assist. Can't really push anymore as the rest of Azure does respawn. 2 down on the side. Good pick right there from Noob with the foil squeezer. And they go down to Steffi. And we got a little 3v3 situation.
Right now, Steffi showing that they really deserve to be the real wife of Rissa right now, having 10 KA. And assisting their team, bringing out another armor. This is the 7th armor for them. Add another assist to that. And doing as much as they can do to get this victory. The winner of this set is the real wife of Rissa, right?
I believe so. We did see a nice triple to stop the push. It all actually really helped from the toxic mist thrown down by Toast to save Azure from possibly losing the lead as we see Booyah come down. No casualties on that effort. Toast is being pushed back as Stalker's trying to make their push of their own. Leafy does get one, but goes down, and there's 3 down on the side of Stalker. Kiwi has to stay back as there's 10 seconds left. Can they make a push as soon as we head into overtime here in 3, 2, 1? We are in OT, waiting as Kiwi pops missiling 3, waiting for a good window to push. As we do see, picks there. Both sides have 1 down. We're getting a little fight between Toast and Kiwi. Kiwi gets the pick. There's the score, and there's the lead. Stalker able to get crucial picks and take the first game of this grand final set.
Okay. I don't know what to say to that. Great play by Kiwi. I mean, good numbers, of course, by Kiwi as well. Toast on the other side doing a great job. Both trying, at least in terms of KA, wanting to win that one. But great play by Kiwi. They recognized that they were not getting that score. Toast had completely cut them off. So instead of just taking the L, because if they died there, that game was over. I'm going to be honest with you. If they die, even if the teammates are able to take down Toast, they didn't have enough time to get that ball in. So what they did, Kiwi throws the ball to their teammate, which didn't end up hitting the teammate, but it was enough that close enough that they could respond and get the score. While what Kiwi did is they backed up and flicked Toast and gets the kill, and then enables their team to then focus on getting enough score, which it wasn't. They didn't have to overcome a huge score. Azure, of course, having the lead at that point, but not a huge lead. They managed to get the score, throw in a couple extra clams, and that game goes to Stalker, and Azure is going to have to go into Rainmaker on Anchovy games, down a game. Mud Cup, if they want to become the real wife of Rissa, they're gonna have to win. Win a few more games here. If not, Steffi will keep their reign right now.
Oh man, this is the fight for an identity crisis. We can officially title this. As we have our second game on Anchovy Rainmaker. It's kind of interesting how you can use a comp. Honestly, I feel like E-Leader actually does work really well, but I'm not sure if anybody really plays Charger as. I am correct somewhat, as we see a Bamboozler on the side of Stalker from Kiwi still. Overall, same comp from the side of Azure, and we do see Steffi move over to the mini Splatling. Steffi popping missile, getting 2 of the opponent there as they try and make a little bit of paint, but Steffi is going to have to jump out after a little bit too much pressure from the side of Azure.
Oh, we have an opportunity here for Stalker to go forward. Toast making a great play, able to get 2 members down. That will be a huge stall. It may not necessarily be a position where they're going to give up 0 points, but it definitely puts them in a position where they're not going to lose, 50 points or so without continuing to make mistakes. And Toast using that sharking ability, absolutely shredding and honestly saving potentially a game-winning push here. Yeah, I know it's weird to say that in the first, minute, but if you allow them to get down, to 20 remaining, it's probably a game-winning push. As much as there's a great team, they're facing off against great players as well, and they would have to bring a miracle to get that.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see Mudcup get, I believe 2 on that play, as 3 down on the side of Stalker. Noob can quickly pop in, push back the Nautilus there, putting a little bit of pressure there onto Leafy, as we see this push start off here for the side of Azure. Noob able to get 1 pick on Leafy. It is now a 4v3. Missiles do come out on Pika, trying to avoid the Toxic Mist to save themselves as they keep this push going on. Azure takes the lead. Bubbles come out to keep this push going. Leafy can't really get a pick so far, and they finally get it as the lead is pushed down to 34. And the team light there. Azure can finally push a little bit more. They could possibly take the win, but they will not. Terra able to get 1 pick, 2 picks, 3 down on the side of Azure, but Terra does go down right there on the side of Pika.
Wow, great push by Azure here. Already down to 13 remaining, which of course is 87 points. I talked about before, getting around that 20 points remaining is a huge goal. If you're able to get there, you're usually able to win on this map mode. Though 2.5 minutes is plenty of time for Stalker to come back. We already saw them come back in that last game in overtime, so they have the ability to do that. But Azure having a lot more wiggle room compared to that last game. It's going to be a lot more difficult than it was in the last time where you kind of just score a power clam and a couple extra ones. But if you're going to get the wipe, that leaves that opening, and Leafy has an Inkjet, so they can go over the top here and get anyone that's sitting on that wall for their Rainmaker. And here comes the Inkjet, a great position on this wall as well, not just necessarily having to go over the top to be an effective Inkjet, and they managed to get 1 to jump out and get an assist on another one.
We do see 1 down on the side of Azure as Terra wants to push it so badly, and they get picked. That is tough. They had a good open window to try and get this push. This is the Mudcup get the pick on Kiwi as they are ready to pop this Rainmaker, and they are able to get it out of there before that jump can get and the reset happens. Good move there from Mudcup to keep the Stalker away from taking lead.
I mean, that ate up a good 10 seconds or so, and it's going to eat up even more time because it allowed Azure here to kind of get control of their plat. And at this point, they're getting control of the map. You can see it starting to turn greener and greener by the moment. And that's, of course, Azure's specialty, is they're able to put down so much paint and work so well as a team, especially once they have that paint, that if you give up that to them, you're going to be locked out for quite a while. And you can see how long it is taking for Stalker to get back in here. Right now, Noob and Co here having control of, it looks like their opponent's plat now. And every moment, Stalker is losing more and more ground to Azure and more time as well.
We know, obviously, time does not stop for anybody, as Noob was very smart to have any possession of the top plat of the side of Stalker, as Noob does go down. 1 down. Ooh, 2 down on the side of Stalker, but 3 down on the side of Azure. There's the wipe. Leafy, they have a chance to make the push and take the lead as Leafy has Inkjet ready to go. And there it is, popped out. Noob and Leafy fighting. Oh, there's going to be a flank possibly by Toast. Toast goes down. There's some Toxic Mist. But there's a push opportunity. Noob gets picked as well. There's the wipe. They did it again. Another comeback win for the side of Stalker. They're showing that they can be the comeback hits so far in this set. Unbelievable.
Oh my god. What? Wow! Look at those numbers there by Stalker. They in terms of numbers, there are a lot of assists there. They were definitely working together quite a lot as a team. But wow, 2 comeback victories. Yeah, I know Raze is gonna have a conversation with the rest of their team later. I know he's watching.
Oh yeah.
Raze a great player, and more ends up being more of a coaching role there for Azure more than anything, and analytical role, and great at that. And of course, going to be watching the film of this one, and knowing, man, we should have had 2 games there. But you know what? We still have another up to 5 games remaining. Azure just having to take 4 out of 5. Of course, it's not all 4. So hey, you still got a mulligan in there, Azure. You kind of let 2 mulligans go, but it shows that they definitely really should be winning these ones and have an opportunity to win these ones. But Stalker here able to, of course, edge them out both times in overtime. But we're gonna be going to Splat Zone's Skipper Pavilion. What do you think about this map here, Lancer?
This is one of the more difficult maps to keep the zone in, since there's 2 ways to try and get to the zone from top and bottom. So yeah, a few people could be coming up top trying to get the top half of the zone, and then a few people could keep it on bottom half of the zone, as we see Leafy go down to the side of that's Bud Cup. My bad. Sorry, I can't remember sometimes. As Steffi gets Bud Cup with the Tenta missiles, showing that they really want to be the real Rissa's wife. Keeping zone on the side of Stalker. As we see Steffi go down to Toast via Inkjet.
Yeah, it looks like Azure here is going to have an opportunity to finally have some sort of hold for a long duration. They're able to start to build up this Inkjet here. Toast going to swap to the Nautilus. That Inkjet, I think, is a really key choice. But it doesn't matter when all your teammates go down and your Inkjet isn't ready. You're just gonna have to attempt to jump out. But Kiwi says, no, I know your shenanigans. So goodbye, Toast, and enjoy the respawn. We'll see you in a few moments.
Great wipe on the side of Stalker. This looks like they're going to be able to take a lead right here as Kiwi's trying to get a few picks from across the pond. As Leafy goes down to Noob. Oh, I thought we had an Inkjet fight. My bad. Man, I got excited for no reason. Oh, there's a pick right there from Toast. And Noob also getting a pick there. No, sorry, that was an assist from Noob.
Lots of assists.
Leafy gets 1. Leafy in the fight gets killed by Bomb. Great stop there from the side of Azure. They want to make this push well worth it, and it looks like it will, but not if Steffi has anything to say about it. As they pop missiles, Lee does go to Azure's side, as we see a possible... Ooh, we do have a change in possession of zone. Now it's going to Stalker. 3 down on the side of Azure. Steffi able to paint a little bit of zone and possibly take lead once more.
I mean, look at this map. It is very pink right now, but that's going to change very quickly with the bamboo going down and the Inkjet out from it was
Toast.
Leafy. And Toast was the one that just got the kill, but prior to that, though, Leafy had one out, which of course limits the paint output. So when the paint was changing there, they lost air. But of course, a small lead here for Stalker, a 1-point lead. Pika and Co able to successfully take control of the zone, though, and they're going to eat up their penalty. Probably not going to have any opportunity here to lose this zone within the time to take the lead, and of course they do hold for the lead. So it's going to be more for Stalker to stop the KO right now than it is to defend their lead.
Absolutely. Toast, as we see, getting ready to protect with bubbles coming out from the side. Good pick right there on Terra. We have 5 seconds left on zone, and Stalker isn't going to be able to come back from this one, I can tell you that, as Azure finally takes their first win. It is now 2-1, heading into Game 4.
That's better, sir. Not to discount what Stalker has done, but I know Azure, they really hurting after those last ones. where they felt they probably should have been able to get those victories. And so, you know what? They got one on the scoreboard finally. And Stalker there, you know, I kind of talked about it going into the zone's Piranha in the last set, how you can kind of fight for that zone at the end. We kind of saw that, the outpaintingness of Azure coming in clutch, able to hold that zone for those last, 6-7 ticks on the counter, and Stalker not having the ability to outpaint Azure. And so that game does go to Azure in a knockout fashion. That is our first knockout, I believe. Because the last one didn't get a knockout as well. So first KO and this one, and it goes to Azure, and we're going to Tower Control Sturgeon Shipyard. What do you think about this map here, Lancer?
Great. I always want to say great sniping map, since you got Spinner up there, and it's clear shot to tower in mid. But again, I don't know if we're really going to be seeing any chargers on either side, since most of them would prefer to use Splatling as their backline here. But maybe a Booyah Bomb could be coming out from one of the other side.
Yeah, Booyah Bomb is a good choice here. So I would suspect with Tower Control, we're going to probably see a little bit of a shake-up in our weaponry, just because it just plays, especially this map too, just plays a little bit differently than some of the other ones we've had so far. I think every other one you can kind of roll with, they've been rolling with very little change. I think the only thing we've seen across the 3 games is Steffi change from Mini and, what was it, Zapper, whatever Steffi was running. I think it was Zap.
They also ran BDS? Maybe?
That was in the last set. I meant in these 3 that we've had so far.
Well, this set. All right.
That was Rainmaker on Snapper that you're thinking of. But yeah, you're right. They've run VS. Yeah. But I think here we probably see something with Booyah. Maybe that 52. Was it Stalker that had a 52 in a previous set, or was that their opponent?
I believe it was Stalker who had a 52.
Because that would be a great one here, especially with the short tower. And ooh, yeah, we're seeing some change-ups here already. No Booyah Bomb, I don't believe, unless I am losing my mind, which, is always a possibility.
You are right, there is no Booyah Bomb
when you see
on either side.
Such a crazy show as this one, sometimes you never know what everything is, but the big thing is going to be tier going to the machine. That splashdown can be used on tower to kind of throw people off too, of course, with the motion of tower. Sometimes you can't really quickly predict where splashdown's going to land in relation to the tower if you can't shoot it down. So that's something that you can kind of use to mess with people in the mind, where you can either secure the kill or at least push them back in a position where you can get the kill off something like your Fizzy Bomb or your main weapon here from Toast. So Azure right now taking an early lead, able to quickly get to this first checkpoint. The question is, they're going to be able to get it before Leafy can stop them, and it looks like no, they will not be able to get that.
Got it.
Be able to get it.
Leafy wasn't able to get it there. That was a good pick from the side of Leafy. As 2 are down on the side of Azure, as we see Steffi painting a little bit of the map just to make sure that their teammates can have enough room to work. As we see 2 on tower, armor is out from Steffi as they're ready to take over checkpoint 1 here. Blob is giving a little bit of pressure towards Steffi, as Lee does switch over to the side of Stalker here. But we do have a little bit of a brigade on the tower from Azure to make sure this push stops. Oh, the fight between the Rissla's wife, as we see Steffi is the ultimate winner right here.
We'll see if they're going to be the ultimate winner of the set, though. Peek are going to get that kill on Terra there, who is in the corner trying to make something out of nothing. And but it doesn't matter, they aren't going to last long. Leafy here to send him back to home. Make sure to say sorry, Leafy. And here we go. Gonna try to get more. Leafy doing more damage, going for a third, but just gonna end up with an assist. And the pincer might work for a additional one, and they do, and another assist. So 5 there, KA added to Leafy's score. We're already up to 10 KA for Leafy, and they're looking for more.
Absolutely. Inkjet just put out. I thought that was almost a direct there, but there they finally get the direct on Noob, and another one on Mud Cup as well. they're gonna push for a lot more points as two are down on the side of Azure. As we see Steffi still on tower, making a push, but the pick does go to Pika to stop the push at 21. Could not get past checkpoint as we see Leafy ready to try and get a pick. They get 1, 3 down on the side of Azure once again as we see a little bit of a respawn coming in behind Leafy, being pincered into that corner, and they will get the pick. Good job by Toast just to stop the bleeding a little bit there.
I mean, Leafy was on those grates for like 20 minutes, I swear. They were fighting Toast for a long time, back and forth. Toast able to get the victory, I guess, long term, if you can count it now long term. But originally, Leafy able to get the success and get their teammates in, but they couldn't do anything off of that. Leafy again getting another kill, looking for another assist. Already up to 16k, a minute and a half remaining in this game. They're gonna, and finally, they went down once, and now they're jumping out. I think this is finally gonna be the first time Stalker is really gonna give up mid. Oh, never mind. I will eat my words because that is a wipe of Azure.
That's a wipe. Yep. Did not fully expect that to happen, but hey, it happened, and here we are. Another pick from Leafy. Could Leafy possibly get a 20k this game?
They're just 2 away now. I mean, let's be honest. We're just watching Leafy because they keep getting kills. So every time we switch to somebody else, it's like, well, Leafy just got another kill.
Get a kill here?
Leafy gets another.
Does Leafy get another kill or another assist here? Oh, Leafy just go down there with 40 seconds left. Pika is trying to get someone off of grates, and they do get the pick via rain on Steffi. And now they have to push the tower back, trying to get a little bit of map control. Let's see if they can make a comeback of their own to take this win. Make it 2-2.
Yeah, we're gonna see the change up here and make it a little bit different. Pika is watching those grates. We have one member of Azure here is going to be Mudcup on the tower. We see Steffi trying to make something out of nothing. Steffi goes going to go down. Kiwi on the far left, fighting Toast. Not going to be able to get anything. Terra goes down. Leafy going to try to make it, and Leafy is going to secure the game, and that is going to be a 20 bomb here by Leafy. I'm not sure if it's 21, 22, or just 20, but until we get the results screen. But that was for sure, because last I had checked, it was at least 19. So, 22 it is. Wow, okay, they got up there.
Good. I was watching that. I was mainly focusing on Leafy besides the tower just to see if something would happen. I see them get 1 kill and they get 2 more just to finish the push. That was... what a performance. I mean, 22k in this kind of setting is unbelievable right now.
And you have to remember, with the weaponry that Leafy has, that's a lot of kills. That's usually going to be more skewed. Something like, Terra, who was dropping 20 bombs earlier, and that's a lot more of a mix of assists just because of their weaponry. Things like the armor helps you get those assists. Not that I'm downplaying Terra by any means. It's just, it's a different role. So they're a little bit more skewed towards kills because Leafy's about focusing kills, while Terra is getting a mix of kills and assists and assisting their team. Leafy got a good number of assists there. We saw a few teaming up with, I believe it was... Terra, speaking of Terra again, getting multiple kills on that left side, getting a couple assists through there. But, maybe instead of 50-50-ish assist and kills, this is probably, 75% kills. So you're talking 15, 16 actual kills in there for Leafy, most likely, about that number.
Yeah.
But we're going to be focused on Clan Blitz, Ink Blood, Art Academy. What do you think about this one, Lancer?
Kind of interesting. I mean, not too many people favor this map mode combo, but I could definitely see Pika really taking Blob to their advantage here with the walls of the perch and the walls in lower mid, and also stacks. You can bounce as many shots as you can with the ball or the Blob. My bad. And try and get as much paint as you can. Make sure your team get a push, and possibly take this to game 6.
Yeah, I would love to see more from both these teams. As much as everyone wants go to bed at the same time. Some of us, like myself, have work tomorrow. This has been a fun set. I mean, two games I think have been just stolen from Azure. And now both teams really, though, showing that they had both teams having won respectively decisive games, I would say. And so it does change things a little bit. And of course, this means stlkr is up 3-1, and this is the match point if they can get it. If not, Azure's going to, of course, trying to stay alive for a little bit longer and force a Game 6, as you mentioned. But right now, they are down 1. stlkr wanting to end it right here at Game 5.
We do see which Kiwi go down, but there is 3 down on the side of stlkr. Earlier, there was also 3 down on the side of Azure. As we see Toast trying to make a little bit of a push for themselves. 1 down on the side. But Toast does go down to Kiwi, who has been absolutely dirty with the bamboo so far tonight.
Something we didn't point out, there's a Flingza in this game.
Oh, yeah!
we completely missed it, yeah! I mean, there was not too much change up on the side of Azure, but we see a Flingza come out. Let's go see who the Flingza player is. Terra. You know what? It fits kind of the way they've been playing, so I'm not too surprised. A little bit more of a supporty roller than necessarily a kill heavy one like something like regular roller or Carbon is, but. Yeah. You know what? It can still do a lot of damage, and it puts down a lot of paint, which counters what Azure tries to do. And you know what? If it really needs to kill, it can. I mean, just look as I say that.
Yep, perfect. Good timing.
Perfect timing, Terra. You can't hear us, but I approve of that kill with that specific timing.
And we did see Pika take down Terra with the blobs. Like I said earlier, you can use your walls to your advantage on this map mode, as we see Pika go down to Steppy, who so far has only gotten 4KA, working well so far in this match.
Yeah,
we do see a little bit.
Pointed out that we're only 2 minutes into the game here on this one, so nobody really has any more than 6, so...
Yeah, well, sorry. Leafy has really brought my expectations up really, really high, so...
I mean, Terra's been dropping 20 bombs too, Azure players have been dropping, 18, 19, so when we see only 8 on the board at this point as the highest one, that surprises us all.
Yeah, and now we got a score from the side of stlkr. It looks like Kiwi is able to throw 1 and a few more. Rissa couldn't... Oh, I did it again. I called him Rissa. Stephanie able to get a few more into the basket. We got ball in there too, dropping it down to 24. And seriously, that's going to end this push right there on the white. Good job from everybody on Azure there. The score is down to 24 with a 38-point penalty for the side of stlkr.
Toast here, trying to start a comeback, able to get one number with that inkjet, aiming for the second one, not going to be able to, but the score is still going to happen. We see Mudcup here trying to claim the throne or the title of Rissa's wife, able to get some score and able to assist Pika on getting those additional clams in. Toast able to put in another 9 points, but that's not going to be enough to get the lead here, and just Noob remains. So Noob going to fall back, try to stay alive, hold as much as you can of mid. That's huge, but going to get cornered, probably going to have to jump out here.
Yeah, you see Kiwi definitely pushing them back on that hit right there on their left side. As we see Kiwi going into a 1v1, possibly a 2v1, but does get one, but Pika does take the pick on Kiwi. Missiles do come out. Pika trying to resort to picking up a little bit of clams, hiding a little bit, as they get the pick on Terra too. Trying to use the walls to their advantage, trying to get one more, but they can't. They have to retreat a little bit. Pika really been showing out with blobs so far this game, as they're able to distract and make the opposing team fall back as much as they can.
Pika going to finally score a ball here. They're going to need a little bit more than that, but those bubbles are going to be hugely assisting, but they're not going to be enough. Leafy able to get him down with the Neo Splash, and that is 3 members down of Azure, and that let's just say this play, and that's a wipe. So this is, yeah, they're gonna have to rush into mid. They have to make a miracle play at this point. It's gonna be pretty tough to build the ball, but they actually have 8 clams in their spawn. They have an opportunity here if they can get maybe 1 kill to actually get in. Nope, Leafy just got a double on that.
Leafy just, yep.
That's GG's
we also
there.
yep, that's it. That's it. Congratulations there to stlkr winning swim or sink 29. I was again gonna mention earlier. We did see. I believe that was. What's their name? Sorry, Leafy. They were finding clams that had just spawned in and throwing it into the water just to make sure that the opposing team could not make a final push. Great thinking right there from Leafy to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Yeah, and this tournament is over. Big congratulations to stlkr on winning SOS 29, the last edition of Cat Made, which of course is, you know, upsetting. We are going to miss Cat Made. Maybe we can do some more fun events, of course, with SOS down the line. Next week will be our off week, so we will return the first week of June, which I believe is the 2nd. Should be returning on the 2nd, pending I am not wrong.
I believe so, yes. I believe, yeah, it is the 2nd of June.
So, yeah, I want to give a big shout out, of course, to Lancer. Lancer, where can the people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram, if you guys have that, at LancerSplats. I do have a twitch.tv/Lancer_Splatoon. I will start streaming sometime, I don't know when. But yeah, that's mainly where you can find me. It was an absolute pleasure to come and commentate for Top Cut tonight. Glad to be here.
We're glad to have you, Lancer, and of course, get those last 9s out before they get it goes away. We'll probably get rid of that there in chat probably tomorrow or tonight. You know, we might keep it through Low Ink. Of course, I don't think we've shout out Low Ink. Of course, this weekend, if you are eligible, don't forget to sign up for that. Sign up will be closing very soon. And so don't wait around. We close it ahead of time, so it gives us a little opportunity to comb through everybody and make sure you are eligible, because we have to have eligibility there at Low Ink, anybody that is Div 5 or below. But if you are not able to participate in that, TG again is this week and as well, but it is Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. So, you know, if you can't play in Low Ink, we'll see you there. Anyways, we are thankful for you all being here tonight. Again, congratulations to stlkr on winning this SOS, the last one of Cat Made, and we will see you in 2 weeks for more SOS. See you then.